Welcome to a new series in the RPG Real Play Sessions. In this one, Jack acts as the DMer, running Rob and Dave through his homebrew fantasy RPG. In our first installment, the boys are recruited into the Wardens to protect the realm. But first, they have to survive their first day at the garrison. Now on to the adventure. Before we start, you should describe what the game is and a little bit about it.
It's coming.
Okay.
Wow.
We're recording on the same.
Oh, okay. So
It's coming. When?
it's a mostly diceless system. So I'm going to... you have attributes. If you have an attribute that's higher by a predetermined amount than what the person is, like if you're both arm wrestling or if you're both racing or whatever, it's an automatic, you're going to win. At some point,
Might be a roll-off.
you're going to say, no, it's not going to be roll-off, but you're going to say, I know he's faster than me. And I'm going to test my luck. Then you grab the dice. And what you're going to want to do is roll. And you kind of know that anything above 7, you can't possibly win because the top
lower is
attribute you
better.
had. So you want to go low. So we're going to decide now that the red dice is that dice. You're going to roll them both. This one is a whole other thing. You don't have to worry about.
You sure?
Unless you roll a 12 or a 1. But, so you go, oh, you know what? I know in this foot race he's faster than me. By considerable, I'm going to press my luck. And you just say, hopefully the god of luck's on my side, luck and fortune. And you roll and you go,
I should have picked luck and
I got a 12. See, I shouldn't have pressed my luck at that point. You failed and now you've pressed your luck.
So you probably tripped and fell on your face or something.
Yeah, you failed in a way that's worse than just having failed.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this dice you don't have to worry about. And I just ask that you don't touch the dice.
The silent laugh for
afterwards.
Dave's the best.
Okay.
Afterwards, you just don't touch the dice. Those
So
dice
if we
need
have
to
to roll,
stay.
we roll both. The red one's the one we're counting, and we
Oh, you can't. You because it might come up later. That
It does come up.
so just leave the dice once you roll.
That's it.
Don't play with them, Dave.
Just don't play with it. Okay, and
Stop touching
for
the
order
dice.
order of action, I'm just going to say that Rob, you always go before Dave.
Oh.
The only time that's going to... If you start taking a beating and your health goes down,
I might be limping around.
let me know, and then that's going to change your order of action. But when I say, okay, it's you guys' turn,
Yeah,
it's not,
I'll
hey,
go
can
first.
I... What do I...
That's probably
Rob
better because
goes.
I'm on the tank, so you can follow up on what I do. That's pretty good.
And occasionally, if you're really dumbfounded, you can go, I'm just going to hold
off.
back. That puts you behind, but there's a whole other thing that we don't necessarily need to do.
Yep.
If I
It's all
say
in your
it's you
turn.
guys' turn, that's it.
Now, is that also just in order of so there's no chaos? So when it's our turn to speak, he goes first. That way we're not just blurting stuff out.
That's right.
It's his job to do something first before me.
See, he's much more organized than I was.
But there might also be reasons for it.
That's
as
true.
well.
That's the reason the
He's
system's
got,
like
yeah,
that.
it's his
So,
system.
so when I say it's you guys' turn,
We'll try to remember. Yep.
you go first. So 2 dice, roll them both. The red one's the little thing. In
Green one,
order of
or
action.
whatever the other one is doesn't
Right.
matter unless something happens.
Yeah, that's yes. So
But you always roll 2 dice.
always roll both dice. And don't touch them. And if I say, hey, it's you guys' turn, you just jump in.
Okay.
And,
That's probably happened anyways.
Well, I hate going first. I have no idea ever what's going on.
okay. Okay. Boom.
Go Team Venture. Go Team Deranged.
Okay, so the background in a nutshell is for your frame of reference, because you've lived in the place. The big map that I showed you is called the Realm, and it has it used to be a much different place geographically and the power dynamics. Hundreds of years ago, what became the real gods showed up. They were 12. They were certainly gods, and you know that they were real. There was magic. Life was good, but over time, then no one knows why the gods kind of became characters of themselves in a way that that just progressed until there was a clash. The War of the Gods. It was about 200 years ago. And again, you know this is all fact because there's artifacts. It's well established. The War of the Gods came. The gods that were on the evil side
Well, let's just call it evil with quotes, please.
They were taken care of once they were defeated.
Victor's write the history books.
Sure.
Well, let's not read too much into it. Those gods were imprisoned.
No.
And certain gods, like Death, was taken down to the south. There was one of the original houses named Selgren. They said, okay, once they imprisoned the god of Death, they took him and said he's going to be our prisoner, and they moved them all to different locations. So all this is factual. The thing is that over the last couple generations, magic has started to decline. They call it the end of the magic age, the end of ages. So the end of ages is coming. In the areas that I had shown you, Bormer in particular is becoming a technological hub. And as
is that near where's Bormer?
Right underneath where you guys are from.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. I almost was from there. Yeah.
So this is where the king, that's the royal family, is Bormer. This is the hub of technology now. So windows have glass in them. There's printing presses. There's steam-powered engines. There is a lot of stuff that it just seems for us in our history is out of sync, but in this world it happened. And as it goes out, the magic that there's elves. There is elves. There's magic users.
They're being pushed back.
It's all going back. And outside of that area, they call it the Veil. The Elven Veil on this side, but the elves on this side of the map here, and all the creatures are slowly, people who have magic artifacts, if the closer they get to this point here, Bormer, the more that they lose their effect, until finally magic items become just inert.
Oh, they did. It's not even that. They actually stop working.
They just, and then once they become inert, they're gone. They're destroyed. So that's just everyone knows this. This is factual.
So if you have a magic item and you go too far, or you go in too much into technological areas,
yes.
Is the opposite true? If you have technology, you don't know.
You don't know because you're from this area.
Yeah, so we've never been outside the area. Yeah.
So this is the overview. Now. Dave and Rob, you both chose independently of each other areas in that area, so you don't know exactly what's going on out here, but that's the history lesson. That there was a war of the gods, a final battle.
We're just living our lives.
You're just living your lives until this is where it comes to you two in particular. Now you find yourselves on your character sheets. You're going to write down that you have a green cloak, both of you.
Is that back?
Under equipment, you can write it and then put it on your back. On the
sundry equipment?
Yeah, and it's a warden's cloak.
My name is almost Warden. I can't spell cloak, but it's all good. They can put clock.
You're not wearing a clock on your back.
Would it be considered an accessory or a back?
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so the wardens are a kind of a scout. They're a function of the king and the royal family. What happens is you're conscripted, basically. Unless your parents are wealthy enough or can show cause why you cannot go, whoever your guardian is, you have to, at your age, join the wardens. They ship you, they train you, so now that is why you can...
Short swords.
Short swords are the standard issue. You have to go to another city, outside of your city, and your job is to patrol the area around, and you're going to follow the directions. You don't work for the city. You don't work for the watch, who are the police of the city. You work for the government, and you're going to be working for people that are there. And this is well established too. As you're growing up, you had people. Wardens.
There's always wardens around.
Yes, and they represent the crown and the lands around to make sure there's no shenanigans going on around. Inside the city, you don't have any power. So
it's just in the course of so.
just to make sure the King's Lands are safe. So you're basically a type of ranger or a scout.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But not in the cities.
So you both got on this. There's a carriage with multiple kids your age. You've had to take a trip. Now on that map, you'll see it's a long way. Now, say if you want to have a conversation right now about your characters because you had literally weeks of a trip to your thing. So
I'm going to be sitting and sizing up the competition, kind of like just eyeing everybody quiet in the corner, kind of just sitting there,
okay.
eyes down, not really making any conversation.
Oh, it's fine. Make this hard on me. Thank you.
So this is your opportunity. Either decide that you two are going to be a team.
Why do you make it harder to role play?
I'm not making it harder. There's tons of people in this thing.
There's 6, 7 others here.
See, I'm going to let you, and I'm just going to listen.
Okay. Well,
I'm just sitting, watching.
For 2 weeks, you sit and watch.
Pretty much. I'm not going to engage in any conversation.
So you just follow the orders of your superiors during this trip when you're told.
But I'm always listening. Like I'm trying to learn everything I can about everybody else. So I'm listening in on conversations, but I'm trying not to look like I'm listening in on conversations.
And Dave is going to.
I'm going to every person I meet, and we have a conversation. I'm going to tell them a different background.
Okay.
It's slightly different.
You're embellishing certain things.
I don't know if I'm quite.
We're only like a small carriage too, right?
And it's only just kids we're talking to.
It's a covered carriage. There's 6 people. It's a wagon. What happens is you're doing the King's Road, which means it's perfectly safe. Soldiers use that all the time. So you ride for the day.
Is it all guys or is it guys and girls?
Men and females.
I'm just going to give a slightly different story of how I grew up. Sometimes maybe I was the baker's boy. Sometimes perhaps
So you're a pathological liar.
No, I just don't want to tell them my history. I don't know if I'm embarrassed by it yet, but I just.
And I don't need to know why.
Yeah.
But that's what you're doing, and that is fine. And as of right now,
yeah. Can you?
As of right now, you don't suspect anyone knows any different.
Can you describe because there's 6 people you said, so there's 4 other people. Can you describe what they look like?
There's 6 more people.
Oh, can you describe what they're like?
All about the same age. This is
nobody really stands out or anything?
No one really stands out because you're all quite young. You're 15, 16, 17, but you can tell some of them have done hard labor in a family business of some sort. Maybe there's father owns a sawmill, pig farmer or something like that.
Does any look like they're from the streets like me?
I will say because you're wearing basically the same cloak, the same, you've just gone through your training. You've all had to be cleaned up. It's not like there's a scraggly beard. No one's got a scraggly beard. There's no, hey, I just came. I'm covered
in uniform.
Yeah, I'm covered in feces because I was just out in the field because it's been months since that's been the case. So you can decide to engage and ask and whatever, but just by listening, you've found no. Okay.
And then, do I notice this guy's just always telling the wrong story?
No.
Okay.
No.
He's more talkative than the rest, or are they all about the same?
All about the same.
Okay.
Some people you could tell it was a hard adjustment going away from the family. Others were not. It was, but you're all basically in the same boat, and you're all basically, some of your, let's just say your intricacies, your particular, most people don't have those, but they look a little less fit and look like they don't carry themselves as aggressively or as...
Okay. So I'm pretty much the biggest guy there?
You are the biggest guy there.
That's all that matters.
Okay, as long as that's all that matters. Physically eyeing them up. They're all about the same. What I mean, You've got some that have baled a lot of hay and you're like...
They might be farmer strong, but...
That guy's probably my size, but he handles himself like he was baling hay, not handles himself like he
doesn't look like a predator.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a predator.
That's all I'm just making sure.
Okay. So unless there's something else...
Does Dave's character stand out at all in any way? Probably not, actually. He's only...
I'm going to say that other than he does have a little something in his eye that you see that's familiar. That's some of the other farm boys and some of the other, like the Taylor.
I can tell he's had a harder life.
Yeah, the Taylor's boy doesn't have a something that in his eyes that, or his situational awareness that you see, and that
I assume everybody's moving around and they were not all sitting in the same spot all the time.
You get out, you make camp. The guys, your superiors are okay. You get this, you get that, you get this, you get that. You're under control the entire time, which is basically. Because of your age and the fact that you have to be unsupervised quite a bit when you're given your tasking,
they're just teaching us basic field craft.
They were on you all the time. So even if they see some sort of friction between kids or whatever like that, it's stamped out. There's no.
Yeah, they don't want anything. Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna stick close to this guy since
Okay.
I'm just gonna always sit next to him kind of thing. And I'll never say anything to him though.
But you'll be in the vicinity. But yeah. So unless either of you, this is your chance. If that's the level of between the two of you, you've decided.
This is as friendly as I get, pretty much.
And I'll tell him my history there. I was my father was. I can't even say it properly. My father tended the horses in this whatever castle. I'm not sure. I'd have to pick one.
Varga, was it?
No, I wouldn't say Varga. I would say like a regular from a normal town. I would just pick a name.
So one that wasn't yours, but one that's local. Like you were in Boromir City to get collected for this trip, so you could say
that's perfect.
You know enough about the city that you could.
My father tended the horses. He had 3 sons. I was the youngest. I was tasked with cleaning up the horse poop, which I did very poorly. When they came around to conscript us, my father bribed the people, I don't know who we call them, the guards or whoever.
The wardens.
Yeah, the wardens not to take the eldest 2 sons, his favorites, and here I am.
A sad story to be sure, and probably not unique. Like that is a very possible. If it implies your father had enough money to because that is a function of the wardens. When they come to you and say you have sons of ages, we need at least one to join the wardens. You can go. Well, I need him for my business.
Right.
Poor families can't do it, so it's implied that you've got a little extra money.
Or he had access to some horses.
Could be.
Horses could be something. Yeah, either way, he bribed them a bit, and they walked away with 1 kid, and he chose me because, well, I don't know. I wasn't good at shoveling poop.
The wardens just scraped me off the street.
Oh, you are talking. Look at this. He's opening up. He's like a pistachio nut.
I'm an onion.
He's an onion, all right. Okay. So that is the training, the 2 weeks leading up. So now, is that all the backstory we're going to do for right now?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So the trip by carriage to your new posting was long, uneventful. After joining the wardens, you were to be stationed at a town called Harper's Crossing. Now, I can show you on the map where that is.
I already know where it is because I noticed it.
It's not that important right now. It is a town on a water. It
separates the two. The water separates from where you were from. Not that I know this.
I thought it was.
So it is under the domain.
Both of us are away from town.
It is under the domain of a Lord Gareth, who has Gareth's one of the main houses that have now all combined underneath the to rule the realm. Centuries ago, they had all this land was theirs, and they ruled it independently. But now, after the World of Gods, humanity unified. So he's still quite the powerhouse in this area. And you're a long way away from your homes. Far to the east of the cities and towns and villages you're from, all the kids there. At first, it may have seemed like punishment to be posted here, to be sent this far from all that you know, but the posting is a prestigious one. Here, you're so close to the Elven Vale, there's still a lot of danger if that's what you're craving. And in this part of the realm, that you know that there's elves, goblins, ancient mysteries. They're all a fact of life here. So if that's what's intriguing you, this is
It's definitely different from where you came from.
very different from where you came from. And the realm's borders must be protected. And this city is very important because it's one of the few crossings from one side of the continent to the other. So back home, there's medicine, there's the printing press, steam power, they're all the rage. But here, there's still magic that kind of washes over the land. And as you're traveling, you can kind of feel it. There's a little something.
You got some tingling in your britches?
A little something.
I assume we introduce ours with our names during the time.
Okay.
At least I'm only going to tell my name to him, though. I'm not talking to anybody else.
Okay.
Everyone else will probably know my name because I talked to everyone else. But
So then if that is established, then for the record, can each of you just say your name that you know each other by?
I'm just going to... My name's Gray. Say Gray.
Asterius.
Okay, so
And I just give a little curt nod.
Rob is Gray, Dave is Asterius. And that's, no one gave last names, no one gave
No, I didn't.
nicknames, aliases, nothing like that?
My name's cool enough. I don't need a nickname.
Okay.
I like my
Okay.
name too. Thank you for that.
So now you've arrived at the garrison at Harper's Crossing, and it's on the first morning of your new post. So you've just arrived. The cart pulls up. You've got this feeling of anticipation because now this is real. Your training's over, the trip's over. Okay, and within a few minutes, a woman approaches, and you're escorted off the cart, and you're lined up so that she can look you over. And she says, "I'm Captain Holmes," and you can tell her cloak has a distinct like a gold band across the back, which means she's captain.
Rank.
Yeah. There's a distinct rank, and she means business. You can tell she's a kind of a harsh looking woman, older, but not like out of shape or particularly ugly, but just very harsh.
She's been through it.
She's been through it, and she's
a captain.
She's earned her rank.
I'm thinking the new star.
Do we know if wardens, is it a high, death rate, or we don't know?
Not a high death rate.
No, it's a pretty cushy job.
Basically, the first year you have the cloaks that you have. The second year that you're there, you get a brooch. Then you have the option to stay on. Those people most people don't. Most people have to go back to their families. Whatever your service is done, you've.
If you have something to go back to, kind of thing.
Yeah. If you don't, you stay on, and then they have another different variation. So really, you're in for 2 years. You've already got 6 months in your training. You're here. Mm-hmm. So really, you've got.
It's just something everybody has to do.
It's something everyone has to do.
Yeah, we just put up with it, or most people just put up with it.
Most people just put up with it. Okay, so she looks you up and down and says, "This will be your new home for as long as the royal family needs you here. You, like all wardens, will be responsible for the wild areas around this village. Your jurisdiction is outside of these walls. You are not the watch. You will not interfere with the town. You will not interfere with the politics. You will not interfere with anyone who dwells here. You keep your green cloaks on at all time. You keep them in fine condition, and when you earn your brooch, it'll be visible at all times." So I see some nods here. So everyone along the line, it's not something you've just learned now. You were taught that in training a long time ago, but she's telling you now in case anyone thinks that they're going to be, hey, I'm away from mom and dad. Now it's time to party. She's laying it on the line. Okay. So she says, now first you're going to meet the garrison's trainer, Master Mateus. Now, master means he's he's an official trainer. Official trainers wear red cloaks. When you see a red cloak, they are designated through the crown. They train people to do particular things. Now, he's going to be the master at arms for this garrison. So, he says, you're going to have to go meet him. Next, you're going to need some additional traveling gear and supplies. So you're free to visit the businesses of Harper's Crossing to acquire these items. And keep in mind, it's expected that each warden will carry 1 week's rations at all times.
My character's not writing anything down.
Okay. You dropped the pencil, and I didn't know what was going on here. Okay. So you're going to have to go get some supplies. And third, Okay, and then Captain Holmes passes out a paper chit to each of you. She goes down the line and gives you a paper chit. Furthermore, you're going to need to introduce yourselves to the constable of the watch. He runs the watch in town. He wants to see your faces. He wants to know who's responsible. So if any of you get out of line, he knows who you are. He knows who you belong to, which is me. And then he tells me. So he wants to see you and put a name to a face. He's got a list. He's got a roster, but he wants to look at you. She says, I trust you can do these 3 things. Now go report to Master Mateus right now. Get the supplies and meet the constable. And then you return to the garrison today by dusk, and you be ready for training in the morning. So then she just says, go.
And I leave.
Okay, so she gave you 3 distinct tasks. You're standing out at this garrison.
We're supposed to go see Mateus.
And he is in the garrison.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing is...
all 3.
Remember 3.
Well, Mateus, it must be. Meet the constable,
the constable.
And get food.
Yeah. Constable's one I forgot.
Are any of the other... what are we?
Recruits?
Not wards. Are we wards?
Wardens?
Wardens, yep. You are now.
Are any of the other wardens a little scared or skittish? Or anything?
Yes. Yes. She basically laid down the law, and now it's real. They're all in that pit of the stomach. We trained, we were traveling, some laughs were had, kids do kids things, but now it's started. And tomorrow you're going to be starting training, and you've been given these instructions.
I'm going to give a little pat on the back to the one I think is the most scared and say, don't worry, buddy. We'll get through it.
Okay.
I'll just look back at him like...
There is one that...
I'll stop walking towards the thing and look back like,
okay.
Why do you even say that? And keep walking.
You're not a very couth person, but it comes across this particular kid who was probably like, he's a bit younger, maybe the son of a tailor or something. He hasn't seen a lot, and he's particularly, you've chosen him for these particular attributes, what you were looking for, and he kind of, and you can tell he appreciated it. You're a little rough, and it was shocking at first. He was, what's going on here? Because you're not exactly your etiquette isn't.
You slapped him a little too hard, and
and you came up, you got close. Like there was some
his face.
Maybe there's a way to do it, like, "Hi, how are you?" or "How's it going?"
No, but you
like smack.
You came up behind him.
All good.
You grabbed him and said, "Hey, it's all gonna be good." And at first he was shocked, but now thanks. So now you are in front of this large brick plain garrison, a solid symbol of the royal family's power in this city, and it's got these high stone walls, and in front there's 2 banners. One is the Boromore banner, and the other is the Gareth, and they're flapping in the breeze. And inside the walls, you can hear the training. You can hear
weapons hitting and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll go through the doors.
Okay, so you go through, and it seems like someone had to do it first, and as you do, the other 6 people follow. As well as Asterius, he follows as well, and you all move back, and it's simple. You can see in the training yard there are official Boromir soldiers who you've seen the black and silver armor. You can see wardens training, and you can see there's members of the watch. So it looks like this place houses basically the police, the scouts that do the outside, and a contingency of soldiers that come from. So this is a pretty active, pretty big deal. So, and you can see some people training out. Do
I see anybody with a red cloak?
Yes.
Is there only one person with a red cloak?
Yes.
Is he busy or is he?
So if you can head over there and take it to...
I'm heading this way at the very least.
Okay. So I
just don't interrupt him.
You enter the field adjacent to the garrison, and at the far end of the field, there's a platoon of pikemen practicing the drill. So they are army designated pikemen. A small group gathered under a tree, and Master Mateus is among the smaller group. He's wearing that burgundy cloak. That means he's a trainer. And it looks like he's teaching sword practice with wooden swords. And listening intently to this are members of the watch. So there's the local police, the watch. They're watching. So whether they're just hanging out, you don't know. They're there. And as you get closer, you can hear Matthias shouting, pair up, pair up. And they're starting to choose partners, and they start doing the drills, which is drills that you've done. It's the short swords. It's the same.
Do they have brooches, or are they the same rank?
They're both. Both. And you can see they're doing the same things. It's standard training that you did. It's nothing. They're not breaking the mold. This is not an advanced course of any type.
I'm going to walk up so I'm like near Matthias, but not interrupt him. Just try to catch his eye and try to like look at the others, like kind of tell them to follow me without telling them to follow me. Kind of like.
Okay, you all form up basically as a gaggle, and he notices you, and he says, "Oh, welcome to Harper's Crossing, the garrison." He says, and he actually, you've worked with trainers, and people are people, so there's different. He actually starts shaking your hands, and he's nodding down. He's very amiable. Like he's old. You can tell one of his eyes is not that good, but you can tell he's been in combat. You can tell he's got the scars. He's a big guy, but he also doesn't have like a military demeanor like the captain did. He seems far more relaxed in that regard. So he goes down the line, he shakes your hands, and then he goes, "Oh, there's some practice swords there." He goes, pick them up. And he tells you all, he's introduced himself, now he's telling you all of you to pick up practice swords.
I'll grab one.
Okay. As soon as you do, some other people start,
I'll grab one as well.
Okay, so you all have these swords, and he goes, "Let me see what I have to work with." And you just, you two. And he takes the two of you, and he goes, let's see what you got. Now, we're going from role-playing, which has no turns, but once a combat or a situation happens, and I will tell you in the game that I'll say, now we're in an event, and now your order of action, Rob, you go first now for sure. Now you just tell me what you're going to do. Now
I'm facing off against him?
Yes.
I'll be ruthless. I'll attack.
Okay, you attack.
Hopefully he's not even ready yet.
Well, that is an option, I suppose.
Like he just picked up the weapon. He told us, "I'm gonna switch guy."
So let's take a look here. You soundly thrash him almost immediately.
Once he's down, I won't
It is over in a second. You, in your training, you're taught his first lunge. You're taught to parry, and you don't even get the wooden sword in place, and it's over.
And I'll just step back.
And Matthias looks and goes, No. Both of you back. Now he's squared up against you. Now it's your turn.
I will attack on purpose. I mean, I'm not good anyway, so I can just do my best. But I'm purposely not going to do my best. I don't want to stand out in any particular way.
Or you could try your luck.
I'm thinking that I don't want to stand out in any particular way because then I don't get asked to do stuff.
But you're still you're gonna try, but you know you're gonna be beat.
Right, like I could say I could try anyways. I'm going to be bad, but I'm in my head. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to go at you, but I'm not.
You do what you're told, but you're not. Yeah.
Basically, I'm good at. I have luck and I'm nimble, and I don't want them to know anything about. I don't want them to know how.
Like all of a sudden, you're like,
Right, I don't need to spring around like a jackrabbit, going, hey, maybe I can make this work. I'm just gonna. Okay, I'll attack you with some.
So pretty much the exact opposite of what I did.
Yes. The only thing I don't want to do is I don't want to look bad to Matthias, so I won't do it lackadaisical.
Right. Okay.
I will go at you, but it's like the most basic strike, like right at your sword or whatever. You're, not really seeing the like if we're playing tennis, I'm going right at you, not the open spots.
So you didn't take a defensive posture. You decided to try and strike him.
Yeah.
You parry easily. But you followed the form. You didn't. You didn't look like you were faking it. You didn't. So he goes. Whoa. He looks at you and goes, "Oh, we got some work. They're sending me. Oh, so green, so green." So he gets some of the other kids together. They go through the same situation, paired up. He assesses.
I was hoping I wouldn't get you. I would beat somebody down.
He assesses
prison rules.
He assesses his skills and strengths. And then he goes, okay, well, it was good to meet you. I know what I'm working with now. I can see that it's going to be all right. I'm going to be seeing you first thing in the morning. But I understand the captain says you have some other things. This is standard. This is what you have to do. So other than that, if you have any questions, then you're free to continue on with what she has to say.
Okay, I'll drop the wooden sword where I found it and walk away.
Boom, 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 boom. Now you're walking away. What are you doing?
I like, I'll also drop the wooden sword. I like to just, I just want to be in the back. So I'll follow the group, but I want to be towards the end. I just want to be able to keep an eye on everyone.
Are they following me?
The thing is, now they're starting to, no one said where the general store was. No one said, what you had to do in the city other than those three things you have all day. So now people are going in different ways, and you're starting to see the cliques that had formed on the trip. And as such, the two of you end up together basically alone.
Yeah, once I was going to drop back once I saw they were breaking up to talk to him.
So, and that happens organically. That's just the way
Hi. I'm just going to say to him, watch or shop.
Watch.
Okay.
We don't know where it is, though. Or this is in the town, right?
Yes, and you're literally at there are people.
There's watch everywhere, yeah.
There's watch, there's wardens, there's soldiers. Like I said, this is a bustling area. In the garrison, right, you could actually, Mateus is standing, like, right there, so you could ask him.
Sorry, your turn first.
No, sorry.
I say we just, was it me? Now that we're just the two of us, I'll just find the first normal watch guy and say, where's the head? Where's the head watch?
Okay.
I'm not afraid of regular.
So, you find someone, and he's like, "Oh, can I help you?" And
Just have to go. I don't want to.
No, I'm just gonna stand back and let him go.
Hey, we're looking for the head of watch. We're supposed to introduce ourselves. Could you please point us in his direction?
He says, "Oh, the constable. The head of the watch is called the constable." And he goes, "I would recommend you heading to the inn." And it is literally, you go, once you leave here, you go down to you passed it coming in.
Helpful.
You came in. This happens every 6 months. So
he's used to answering the same question every time.
And it's basically...
He probably answered it five other times to the other kids in our group.
That's the thing. So he goes, you pass it on the way in. It's outside the city walls. If there's anything about the city you need to know, I can tell you right now. The history, why it's important. Anything you need to know.
I'll walk away. Halfway through, once he told me where the inn was, we'll walk away.
Okay.
Well, you have a wonderful history, wonderful town. Thank you for keeping watch.
And you start following?
Yeah. I'll just maybe close the conversation a little.
Okay.
I don't know why.
And your awkwardness is palatable. And some of the other once some of the other kids saw how this guy who happened to be by the gate happened to be able to. It looks like his job is literally pointing out travelers to this city. Is what you know of it. It is basically a through travel.
Everybody has to come through here.
Harper's Ferry is a ferry. If you want to travel from one side of the upper sea to the other side of the upper sea, you have to go through here. It doesn't have a lot of the way of businesses, but so this guy, apparently his job is to people come through this way, that way, this way.
As we're walking to the inn, I'm going to ask, why is the constable at the inn?
I don't know. I was going to ask him.
You probably could have asked him.
I was going to ask him if the constable's there. He just wants to go to the inn. I just don't trust. Where's the constable? You should go to the inn first. It just doesn't add up to me, but
it's probably those questions.
I'll just pat my sword and keep walking.
I mean,
we're heading to the inn again.
Okay. So you head, there are buildings on each side. If you decide to stop at any point, now I'm going to hand the map off to whoever has the marker first, and you're going to have some time to start drawing out this map. It's very limited time.
It was smart that you got it.
You're walking. So I'm going to let you decide what priority your drawing is. You can start drawing over here It's completely against the what you're supposed to. You're seeing from 7 over. So you just started drawing.
That's the important part. Where he told us to be is okay.
But if you start drawing,
what number is where we're supposed to be?
7 is where you are right now.
Where are we supposed to go?
Outside of the wall. There's the number 1 is the outside of the wall. So, and you saw that coming in. So you start drawing that.
Number 1 is the inn?
Yes.
Oh, number 1's the inn.
Well, number 1, he said you passed it on the way in.
Oh, okay.
1's where you came in. So there's a couple more buildings out there. Now, he's got to speed draw this.
This is just part of the...
This is part of the thing. Now, what are you doing during this time?
Well, he's speed drawing it?
Yes. He's paying attention to the thing. And if you're stalling, I don't want to have to punish you. What are you doing?
Oh, while he's paying attention to... I don't quite follow.
This is turning into a debacle. What are you doing? I feel like you're just stalling, so he doesn't.
He just has no idea.
I don't know what's going on. I didn't even get a map. Besides, you gave it to him.
Because he's watching and he's paying attention on the way. But okay, Dave, I am so sorry.
I don't think you are.
I am so sorry. That felt like a contravening of the.
Well, I didn't distract. I gave it back to you before you told me I had to. So
that is true. That is true.
I didn't quite. I don't.
I can't. It didn't have any markers on it anyways. I just put where the buildings are.
Did some guy give you a map? Is that what happened?
No,
this is just from memory.
You're walking from point A to point B,
and that's why over here is like I can see it in the distance.
I thought what I was confused about was, and you can still punish me. But what I thought was he was actually doing this, and I was like, well, I'll help him draw it. But then I never heard the point where he was given a map to do that, except you gave it to him. So I was like, well, I'll help him. That way we can get it done.
No, from memory, I just had to remember.
So Rob, move the marker over to Dave. There you go.
May I move it?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being punished if I touch the dice or something.
You will.
I know.
Okay, yeah. So we walk out and then turn.
Now, as
left.
You're going, Rob has done an ocular. He doesn't know.
That's the way I do it. Anyways, I would have done that naturally. I'm always looking, always seeing where the outs are.
He doesn't know what the buildings are, but he's getting the lay of the land. And you just wandered along, humming a tune, perhaps, or
I see. When I walk by these buildings, can I see what they are from the outside?
Things make more sense to me now.
At no point did you stop and you look? Whatever. This was you said you were heading to there, so
that's fine. Well, there's tons of time to check.
Now you've reached to that was what was labeled on the outside of the
we
walls.
just walked out the gate. Yep.
Okay.
And I'll be better next time. I'm gonna get what you get.
On the there's a building.
There's a lot of pressure. It's timed events.
Well,
quick time events. Dave, were you good at those?
Yeah. Well, sometimes no.
ABB.
Well, sometimes when you're talking, I get imagined into the story, so I'm not 100% sure whatever.
That's good. That's how it's supposed to be.
So this is designed to get me into character. Gotcha.
There's a building to the right. Is that the inn? Does it have a sign that says inn?
So you're going to check out the building to the right.
After we get out the wall, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the building to the right.
I assume that's the inn. There's only a couple buildings outside the wall.
The Steep Stairs Inn.
The Steep Stairs Inn?
Yep, Steep Stairs Inn. This tall fieldstone building is a wide set of stone stairs heading up to the second level. Kind of steep. And it is a massive set of wooden doors, and there's a large colorful sign hung above the door. The words Steep Stairs Inn are written across a painted sunset.
I'm just going to say inn.
Is that an order, or is that
the hell walk up the stairs.
Okay, so you're both going up the stairs.
I mean, is it just stairs going up? There's no lobby or anything?
No, it's stairs into the inn.
Oh, it's stairs
outside stairs.
It's an odd, for some reason,
why is it so high up?
No normal architecture you've ever seen has had this setup where you have to go up a set of stairs to.
It's better defended, I guess.
Is there another building quite around, real quick?
You're looking around. You want to take a look at
To the left, there's a building way down there. I'm not sure what it is.
Rob's map is now the official. He has. You look at that, and the two of you. That's what you have to work with from now on.
That's where we started. That's where the inn is.
You want to.
There's a small building and another building down here. We don't know what it is.
You want to fill in names.
That's where we started?
Yeah.
You want to fill in names, put notes, whatever. The two of you work from that.
Okay,
This out here is the wall.
Just before he goes into the inn there, he's going to be in. I'm going to be like, okay, he can do that part. I just want to quickly duck into this building here.
I can't tell what Rob's map is.
It's upside down. I think Dave has a point.
So that's the inn. If
Yes.
that's the inn, this is where we started. So
Yes.
he would have come here and,
Yeah.
there's the inn. I might have been like, you know what? I'm just thinking about other stuff.
You're going to take a look at that building.
Yeah.
So you're
As
standing
I
at the
walked
inn,
towards the inn,
and
you wandered away.
boop back in,
I know where the inn is now.
and
Which one did you go to? This one?
Yeah. Because I can always go to the guys, I thought this was the inn. I'm
Yeah,
a rogue. I want to
yeah.
be a bit roguish.
Okay, this is a stately manor that would look at home in even the most metropolitan city. New brick foundation supports a freshly painted and shingled home. There's many healthy peach trees that dot the area. You can see over the wall. You can see the peach trees. And the entire property is surrounded by a wall. There's a brass plaque on the wall itself that says Seawell Manor.
Seawell Manor. Can I enter?
You can go into the wall.
Was there a gate?
There's no gate, but there's just a path that leads up and into this pretty big estate. Like there's grounds there.
Yeah, I'd like to approach it.
Okay. So you start walking up the thing, and you can see there's some groundskeepers there, and they're
yeah. If they're going to ignore me, I'm going to go to the door. If they're not going to ignore me, I'll have to approach them.
okay. So you wander up to the front door.
Okay. Is it locked?
You start.
Well, this is the inn, isn't it? I'm just a country bumpkin. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it is locked.
Okay. I'm gonna approach it. I want to get into the inn. I'll approach a groundskeeper and point at the building, the manor, and say, I want to get into the inn. I'm looking for the constable.
Then you see he's tending to the peaches. And, oh, my boy, no, I'm sorry. That's you're in the wrong spot. You have to go outside the wall. The inn's down there.
I'm so silly. What's this?
Oh, this is the mayor's house.
The mayor's house.
Oh, yes. Oh, you'll see him. He walks around, pleases his punch. If you want to know anything about he will talk your ear off.
The mayor will talk to me. What's the mayor's name?
Mayor Sewell.
Mayor Sewell. I'm going to write that down because I want to talk to Mayor Sewell. Is he married?
You interested?
No, I'm just curious about his family.
Sewell is a well-established name. They were originally from the Sea Baronies.
Damn, I should have taken that name.
And they've got quite a bit of clout. You know the last name. They're pretty.
Yeah, well, it's a very respectable name. And when my father was a I can't think of a quick interesting. What's the map maker? Cryptographer. He's a cryptographer at again some random king space.
Okay.
And we learned all about what did. Am I not supposed to know this? Uh-oh, something happened. You were bad.
I'm getting a drink.
You're uncivilized. You're uncivilized, and he's starting to now lose patience with you. And when you said cryptographer, and he knows it's cartographer because he's like, okay, well, boy, I have stuff to do. If you could just, I think you now at this point you better get along.
I'm not educated enough.
Better than me.
So he then starts moving you along.
Am I supposed to play the character as description, or that's just my base point? I just want to do it however I'm going to do it. It don't matter.
The base point that we did during character is your proto. That's your fetal character.
That's who I am now,
and that is established right now. But what we're doing now is here.
It's almost like when you're a teenager, you are kind of some of the things, and then some people go and get jobs, and some people smoke cigarettes and hang out at grocery stores.
Right, right. And this adventure is going to be, it's very
okay.
The adventure is called The Tutorials. So
okay.
The tutorials? I think that's a pun.
Tutorials are a bird-like creature that they're a blight. in the area. Torials are everyone knows about them. In this region in particular, they get really bad, and they're like locusts, and they'll attack things. So
My map isn't very good.
All right, so I'll say, okay, you're right, thank you. Go back to tending your peaches, and I'll leave.
okay.
Something a little like, and I had to save some face.
As this is going on, there's some time you see people coming in and out.
Yeah, I went right to the bar. I didn't even look for the constable. I went to the bar and ordered a drink and just sat kind of at the bar watching people.
Okay, you're sitting beside some guy. It's first thing in the morning.
I'm going to yoink a
Literally-
peach on the way out.
Literally first thing in the morning, and he's got a pint in his hand. So
Is he one of just a farmer, or what is he?
he looks like he's definitely working class. But other than that, he's not really paying.
I'll be getting a beer too. Like,
Okay.
beer is water,
I splashed whiskey on me.
not whiskey beer.
No, whiskey.
Okay, so all they serve is an ale.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 geld from the currency's geld. Geld is there's geld in coin form. It's just one currency. It's coins. There's also for people who travel, merchants and stuff, and governments. They have a paper version that is backed by the Royal Treasury. But
This is like a coin.
But the commoners and most of the people use the coin because it's very durable. And
Yeah, like a coin purse just with your money in it.
yes, they're very light, but they're you've seen paper geld all the time. And there's a third, which is a bank geld, which says this amount of money is in the bank, and you redeem it for that entire amount, and it's written by a bank for certain banks. So you have coins.
Yeah, let's have a beer and just be watching. I don't know where this guy went, but I'm looking around. Is there any watch? Like, do I see a constable in the room?
You see the constable. He's sitting at the table eating his breakfast.
Oh, okay. So see breakfast. I'm drinking. Yeah, get my beer and just drinking my beer and waiting. Is any of the other kids come in from?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I'm just waiting there.
Okay.
Let them start.
So
Let them
eventually
drink beer.
you come in, and the interior, it's warm, it's well lit. It's the morning people, travelers who have stayed at the inn that are now coming downstairs before they head on with their trade goods. So it's starting. It's a good busy time for having lots of people around. And on the main floor, there's the bar side, which there's your partner in crime there sitting beside a second guy. And then there's people in the actual food side.
So he's sitting beside a guy having a
beer, yeah, they're
Just staring at the wall.
Just staring at the wall. Huh.
And when you go in, you see the constable. Now, constables, same all around the realm. They wear blue cloaks. And he's got a gold band across the back. And that means he's the leader of the pretty standard stuff. Buildings that the constables are stationed in have blue roofs. And their carts have blue tires, like the wheels are painted blue. So that way, if you're in trouble, you can see at a distance, and it's universal around. So that even if you're in a strange town and you're being molested, you know who to go to. So you see him. He's sitting at his table, enjoying his breakfast. And that's it. You can do whatever you want to do.
I'd like to go next to the guy he's next to, just quickly.
Okay.
And ask him, hey, where do we spend this? And take out my paper chit. Do you know where this?
No, you have not paper.
No.
Oh no, the chit. Oh,
the
yeah.
chit for the store?
Well, no. What was the chit for? Was that just introduction, or was
No,
that?
because you go there to get a week's supply of food or whatever.
But I don't think it was an introduction to the constable, was it?
No one ever looked.
Yeah.
Basically,
I assumed it was you go to the store and get
But she said it right after she's talked about the constable, so I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Well, I think it's... Well, I'll read the chit.
Okay.
Well, anyways, while I'll read it, I'll do what I said. I'm assuming that's what it's for. So
Okay.
where we get supplies?
And he's just turns. His eyes are already a bit, a little bit. This isn't his first breakfast beer. And he does not want anything to do with you. Yeah. Whether he even knows what it is, but he's got no interest.
I was trying to see if it had some sort of value. I could get some other ones off the kids.
What's the chit say? I'll pull up my chit once he's
Yeah, well, I'll read it now.
It says Sam's General Store, and
Okay.
it says for a standard allotment.
I assumed we had to buy our own stuff, and I thought that was just a chit of introduction. That's good.
And the thing is, you have the clothes on your back and like that. That's already been. But when you get stationed someplace, depending, like if you get sent way off one side and it's sweltering hot, that local warden's outfit has to get you the specific extra water skins, extra whatever. If you're in the forest, then okay, you're going to need axes because your job's going to be making sure these trails are. So it's pretty standard. That's what this chit says for Sam's General Store.
Friendly people around here.
Yeah. You should see the caretakers next door. The mayor's house.
I'm just going to keep my eye on the constable. The moment he's done breakfast, or if any of the other kids
I'll approach him while he's having breakfast.
Okay.
I was going to...
And actually, when you've looked at him a couple more times now, and he notices it immediately.
Yeah. And then he starts walking over.
He's very situationally aware. He's observant. He knows he didn't recognize your face. And at this point, you even realize when I was walking in, he wasn't looking, but he was looking.
Me, yeah.
And then you start handing over, and the
moment he starts going over, I'll come over to you.
So, he, with a sweeping motion, with his fork, come on. And, so he introduces himself. He says, I'm the constable, and he invites you to sit down. And,
I don't sit. I'll stand.
Okay.
I'll sit.
He kind of...
No, he implies that I should sit down. I thought he was just being nice.
He's now in...
Okay, I'll sit down.
So he says...
I thought he was just being nice.
He says, "Oh, you caught me early. Mateus must have told you this is where I'd be. This is where I start my rounds. So every morning. Plus, I can't really stand the food at the garrison, if we're being totally honest." So he says, "Just introduce yourself to me." And he says he points to Gray. He says he doesn't say Gray because he doesn't know me. Introduce yourself. I got to put a name to a face.
My name's Gray. For the wardens, obviously.
Oh, okay. So then, okay. Give me a little something. Tell me.
Just came from what's in my town? Havensport.
Oh, okay. Haven't been up in the Sea Baronies. Okay. You what, a shipbuilder's son? You know, a fisherman? What?
No. Just lived on the streets. Work.
Okay, you say okay because you could tell he started to. You could feel he was starting to assert his authority a little bit over you, and he was starting. And
that's what I've given as much as little.
And you were trying. He was as soon as you said okay, he goes fair enough. Just keep your nose clean here. When you're done, your first year, possibilities open up for you, and I have recruited from the wardens people who don't have much to go back to. So, if you really stand out,
yep,
just letting you know.
No, yeah. The whole time I'm just like awkwardly locking eyes with him and then there's not.
Okay. And he's locking eyes with you. You're not the first 16-year-old to come in and think that, you're gonna,
I'm not being cocky. I'm just awkward guy.
He's giving you that same,
yeah.
You're certainly, you don't have the etiquette of someone who would be able to banter with him.
That's right. That's what I am.
And so
I barely speak. So
so you're so he goes and who might you be?
My name is Asterius, good Lord Constable, or whatever. I don't know. I'm trying to be more etiquette-y than I am.
Yeah, you're one of those guys who he has low etiquette, but he's trying to be better.
And the attempt is part of the character. You lack it. People will see through it.
But you'll try it. Yeah.
But the fact that you're trying.
Yeah. Good.
And he says, so where are you from?
Well, I'll give him, again, I should probably just write a list of names of towns again. So I'll give him a town that is different than the one I gave him.
That's why I took that, because you know some local towns, but you don't have any local towns. If you come from a place that's pretty far removed. So what you know is you can either tell the truth. You're a kid from a very remote place. So that's why I took that sheet that has all your notes on there.
Oh.
So
I don't even remember where I was originally from.
Well, that I would have to tell you. Just
maybe you should write it down.
I should write it down.
That's a good idea. Okay, well, but I must know some towns.
Yes. You passed through, like I said, the town where you were all corralled was Bormer City.
Right.
So that's, and
Well, he's from outside there, though, too.
Well, I'll just tell a simple story.
From Boroughmore, like we got recruited in Boroughmore City, but you were from somewhere else.
And quite literally, there is one military installation you pass through to get to here. It's a long open stretch, so you could claim to have been from that, but
Boroughmore City's probably the safest one. It's the biggest city, so.
I'm going to just say something like, I don't know where my mother was. I don't know what my father did. He was drunk mostly. He never touched me, but the women he brought home, he certainly did.
Dwight noticed this is a total fabrication because I've heard what he said before.
This
Well, at least I know it's different from last time he said, right?
This
It
stuff
could still
you said
match up,
before. Yeah, like
Well, except for you. So last time you were a horse father.
But my father
Yeah,
could have
so-
still been a drunk. And
yeah. So far nothing's
I
conflicted.
guess so, yeah. But yeah,
I don't know what
that's
happened.
true. You never said anything about your mother before.
Right. My father was drunk. He never touched me, but the women he brought home, he certainly did. And I don't know what he did. Again, the second I could get out of there, I did. And
See, that's different.
That is a contradiction.
I don't make any facial movement or anything.
And your reasoning is pretty average. So, and I'm going to assume that you as the player is pretty average. So you do pick up on this.
Okay.
That there has been now a shift.
That's fine. I suspected such before.
Okay, and so he says, "Oh, that's a rough shake, kid. Rough shake. So sometimes you're born with money, and those of us that weren't, we have to either just work hard or end up dead, and that's all there is to it."
well, I'm glad I can be here to help. The gentleman at the bar, drinking already, reminds me of scary things back home. I tried to speak with him, but had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, him.
I gotta go farther. I gotta go one more.
Okay, so you've done the introductions, and you point that guy out, and he says, "Oh, that's John. That's John Porter. Don't worry about him." And I just as that happens, like just as there's the lull, a woman enters and briskly heads to the tavern side of the inn, and without warning, she swats the man that was in the back of the head hard, and his breakfast pint sloshing as he does. And she says, "John Porter, you're supposed to be at work." And she's wagging her finger like she's pissed. Her face is red. She is mad. And sheepishly, the man he doesn't try and fight back or do whatever. He's caught dead to rights. He's supposed to be at work. You can tell everything. His body language. He's caught dead to rights. And he gets up and he starts heading towards the door. And she's following him with her hand poised above her head. And she's ready to give him another belt. And the whole time she's yelling at him. And he's I was heading to work. I was just one more beer. I thought, I was just waiting for some breakfast. And she's yelling.
And this is the first time that he's ever seen me crack a smile. Teeny little smirk.
And she's yelling, "We've got no money for food. Your son's running wild. The kid has no father to speak of. I have to work to support this family, and you're going to go to work." And then she stops. She looks at the constable. The constable says, "Morning, Candace." And Candace, she threw her hair, couple things, her skirts, composes herself. "Morning, constable." Well, this is the guy. He just doesn't stop. This John Porter. He just keeps going. He's probably thankful. Usually,
out of swatting range.
By this time, you probably would have had a couple more belts, and then she, "Morning, constable," and then she heads to the door. Constable doesn't do anything.
Nor should he.
And then he looks at you, and he says, "That's right. That's what you don't do. The two of you, if you see something like that going on, you did the right thing. You sit. This isn't your jurisdiction. That little tiff happens twice a week. He's no good drunk. She keeps him on the straight and narrow. I don't need any outsiders who don't know who these people are or what's going on in here screwing around. So just remember that. The watch is in charge of this. You did the right thing. You just sat there."
Well, I just feel bad for them. If there was anything that I could do to help them, perhaps help sow their fields or any sort of work, just to help that poor family, maybe get John on his feet again. Poor Candace looks overworked. I'd be happy to do it on my off time.
Maybe when you're not a member of the Wardens. That's That's up to you. And so then he reiterated that was what you were supposed to do. Just sit there and watch. And then he says, it was good to meet you guys. I'm seeing there's a couple more of your kids coming in. How many of them were you with this shipment?
8.
So you 2 plus 6 more. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to, unless you have any other questions.
I get up.
Okay.
And I give a nod, and then once he's finished,
I just have a question of where I can cash this chit in.
It says Sam's General Store. You go to Sam's General Store.
Could you point it? Is it down the
okay
down the roadway?
So Sam's General Store. Now, Rob, did you put numbers on any of your things so that they would sync up?
No, I did not.
Okay. Well, then I'm just going to have to point in the general direction of.
Yep. As long as it's on this side of the river, it's all good.
The bottom left-hand corner. There's a building in the bottom left-hand corner. It's beside the garrison.
Oh, yep.
He says, "Okay, yeah. You go back in the wall. You hang a right. You're going to pass the town hall, and it's Sam's General Store."
Sweetness. Okay. I head up.
And he says, "Okay, yeah. We'll enjoy the rest of your day." And then you two leave. A couple more of the wardens that came with you show up.
Have they got anything in their hands? Did they get their week's supply? Are they? Someone to size them up a little bit.
You look around. You can't see if they were given anything. You can't see it. Like there's nothing that. So either they
not
haven't
carrying
been,
packs or anything.
Yeah. Either they've
they probably just jerked around for.
Did you guys get to the store
instead of? Oh, you can ask.
Yeah.
Okay. And this particular group. There's 3 of them. No, we're just getting the lay of the land. You guys, we saw you boot right here, so but we're starting to.
I walk right past them with them.
Well, we're heading there now. I can take one of your chits if you want and head there and get your stuff.
Your etiquette should have been higher.
Yeah, you're playing a smooth talk.
I'm playing. I know. This is what happens every time I make a character.
They're nervous. They don't know stuff.
But
one of them is considering it. I'm going to say you want to roll on your luck to see if you would be lucky if one of them does, because two of them look at you going, "Listen,
I think that's for fun. Let's go. Let's do a little roll. It's a roll.
So you know how the rolling works.
I'm gonna roll my luck. I'll explode. 6 and a 1. 6 is red.
So he hands you the chit.
What? That's perfect. I'll pick this stuff up for you, and
he goes, "Thanks." I didn't even read it. Like we all just took them, and I didn't even know what it was for. So yeah, if you could do that, because
no problem.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And the other 2 kind of like,
anyone else?
I will tell you that the critical dice there, a 1, that is a
crit success.
That's a crit success, and the other 2 do hand over their chits. So.
Oh, sweet! That's hilarious.
I was like, let Dave stop.
Right down. You got 4 chits. You got 4 chits now.
Let Dave calm down before I can respond.
You got to push your etiquette up.
Well, gentlemen, I'll grab these for you, and we'll whatever they give us, I don't know. And
okay, and then they're like, "What's the constable like?" Now this is going on now.
I went outside and wait.
You're still waiting. Now, are you just gonna?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to come out. I saw him screwing around.
Constable's a very nice man, but he doesn't want any trouble in his city. So if you see anybody starting trouble, you just make sure you put a stop.
They're like, that's the exact opposite of what we've been trained for months. That does not sound right. That does not sound right.
You just walk away.
And one of them's like, I want my chit back.
I was just kidding. He's fine. No, he's a very nice man.
I think he's like, I think
he's demanding his chit back.
Yeah, he's on the border. Like he's
here. Oh, I don't care. Here. I'm not here to argue. I was just joking. Here, take your chit back. Okay. You know what? In fact, I don't want to pick your stuff up. I was joking. We don't even know each other. We spent 2 weeks. The first day and walking around. He's a very nice gentleman. Obviously you don't do the very thing they've been teaching us for weeks. Here you go.
Okay.
So go to the store.
He takes his chit back, but the other 2 are like, "Come on, he's busting."
You got the other two against him.
Come on. But he's like, he thinks did the right thing. The other two are still like, oh, you were just, it didn't land. The joke didn't land.
No, the joke
but they know that
it landed for me. That's all that matters.
Mental note. When you got 4 chits, shut your mouth.
Don't make jokes.
Right.
The getting's good.
Yeah. All right. That's right. It's a lesson all rogues must learn. All right, gentlemen, I'll be off.
Okay, so you meet up with...
I was just waiting at the bottom of the stairs.
He's waiting at the stairs. And while you're there...
Those guys are just telling me they already got their stuff.
Because... and you do see that the city is... There's a lot of travelers. It doesn't look like now, as the light's coming up and you can see... it doesn't look like it's a bustling city internally, but it looks like it's a thoroughfare for a lot of people.
People just go through it.
And you're starting to see that there's some of the religions that aren't necessarily in the city. You're seeing some women that are Crimson Daughters who who worship death. They wear red veils, red everything, and what they do is they're like almost like a grief counselor. That their sect. When someone dies, they often come in there and they make sure you're eating. They make sure you're and it's usually because they've suffered from.
Are they just walking by, or are they?
They're walking by. You can see, and
I'll like bow my heads to them if they walk by.
Okay,
like defer to them, kind of.
And you can't see their faces because but they may or may not have seen. And you can see people of all stripes and stuff and passing by. And then he comes up and says that, okay, yeah, they already got their stuff, so.
We should get our stuff, then we can have the rest of the day.
It's a good idea.
So we'll head in and go through the door. And I'll look at where he said there's peach trees in the mayor's house. I'll just keep an eye out.
The description I gave him, and it says there's a big brass plaque.
Yeah, I'm just going to, in my mind's eye, know where it is. And then we're going to turn, the first road, we're turning right. And that building, the big building on the corner, is that the...
As you're eyeballing the manor, walking towards you is an older gentleman, dignified and confident in his white suit. He has a cane that he swings about as he walks. He's using it to salute passersby. Because, like I said, the thoroughfares getting a little busier. And from your map, you can tell, and Dave, now that you can see, it's basically one main street, and literally it is called Main Street, east and west. And you can see all the travelers, and he's and he carries himself with an air of importance. And on the street, people are nodding to him. They're deferring to this guy. And when he sees you, he says, boys! And he starts waving his cane. Come here a moment. Boys, come here a moment.
I just look at him like, really?
Who knows what he's got?
Sorry, what are you doing? I just looked at him. That's my action.
Okay. And so you're looking at each other basically like,
There's no harm in talking. I'll go talk to him.
No, I don't have all day.
When he starts walking towards him, I'll follow behind.
Okay, so he beckons and he says, he introduces himself and says, I'm Mayor Sewell. I saw you admiring my estate. You can tell it's a modern style, but with a rural flair. It's new, a year old, my design.
I should have had better talking, because that is exactly how I want to play this guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to work on it.
I'm going to
keep doing it, you'll work on it.
Keep trying.
You keep succeeding in your luck rolls, hopefully it'll help.
Yeah. Well, his go first, but I do definitely want to.
No, I'm just looking at him like, I don't trust or appreciate rich people, so I'm just gonna looking at him like,
okay,
this is why we're gonna bond.
And that's why I'm a little behind him.
So he says,
he's out in front.
He says, I see you're new here. I like to know everyone who's in my city. You boys,
It's nice to meet you. I had a hard time admiring it as your cranky old caretaker there told me to, told me to get on my way. Wouldn't even, I was just looking at the trees and he just told me to get on going, boy, he said to me.
Well, that is his job, and I don't want everyone wandering through.
Oh, no, sir. I was just looking from the street, just looking at all those peach trees, and this guy tells me to get on going. This is the mayor's business, and I thought, well, sorry. So I didn't realize the green cloaks were so out of sorts here.
Well, I don't know where you boys are from. He cut you off. Says, somewhere rural for sure. Your hides are wonderful. Anyways, do you need a point in any direction to get you going?
I was looking at him still and not answering.
Well, this has been a fine introduction.
I don't know. Well, Mercy. Well, I don't know exactly where we're to go after. Like for the day, like where do we sleep even? So I don't even. Do you know? I don't even know where the bunks are.
Oh well, yeah. You must just arrived this morning. Then. Oh no, once you've done what the captain says, the garrison. That's where everyone sleeps. That's your bunks. You'll be assigned everything. That's where you'll be eating. I was just there a couple days ago inspecting. This is under my jurisdiction, of course, as mayor, so I go in and make sure everything's up to snuff. You will be well fed, you will be well cared for, and once you're on your first mission, then it'll test your mettle while your training will come to fruition, he says, and he gives you a tap of his cane.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I won't bother your groundskeeper anymore, although those peaches sure did look nice.
Oh, they're the fun. Peaches don't grow here, you know. This is generally grape country, but back home, we used to have peach trees, and I brought them in. I've cultivated this, and look, this is my pride and joy. My pride and joy. Oh, one day maybe they're almost ripe. If I see you, I'll.
My father had an apple orchard. Boy, he had the finest apples, green ones, red ones.
Now you know. This is the third, even at your average raw.
I get what he's doing, yes.
Perhaps when we get, when my service here is done, we can have an exchange, a few baskets of apples for a few baskets of peaches. We could all be enjoying some fine fruit.
Well, my boy, that sounds amazing. But I'm going to have to let you boys go. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. But time for pleasantries is the luxury of the normal people. I am a very important man, and you understand.
Does he have security, like watch with him or anything? Or
no.
But there's watch around.
You're very close to the garrison, and his house doesn't have any guards on the gate. It doesn't look like this area. There hasn't been enough strife in the realm to warrant that much.
Not a crime-ridden.
We haven't started going at it
yet. And since this is a ferry, you don't know what's on the other side. You're on the civilized side, so you don't know what securities. Everyone seems to think that there's a society. The society in general is not
accepted society. Understand?
Yeah.
So he wanders away.
Yeah, and he indicates to someone, and he goes to meet those people.
As we're walking away, like out of earshot, I'll be like, "Oh, Rich." I just nod. People head towards. First, is there a plaque on that corner building? Which he said. I think the constable said it was the town hall. So I'm just seeing if it's town hall.
You're walking past. You can stop and take a gander at what town. What someone said was town hall.
Yeah. Like because we turned right.
Yes, you have to go past it to get to.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's why I'm curious if that's town hall.
Okay. So as long as
trying to orient myself.
Yeah, as long as I gave you enough time to hopefully no wires are getting crossed.
I hope not.
I hope not either.
I can draw some buildings.
I was going to joke I stalled as long as possible, but I actually didn't. I don't want to get punished.
There is punishment coming. Okay. Don't worry about that.
So yeah,
hopefully that caretaker who was terrible mean to me.
In your revisionist history, yes. In the truth, he was very kind to you at first.
So we came through the gates.
Yes.
We turned right.
I misspoke.
Yes. Right on that corner. Is that town hall? Before Dave gets in more trouble?
You've come in the gates. On the right, there is a building you have to pass to go to what was told is the general store. And that is this large squat block building is half covered in ivy. It is utilitarian in appearance, but does have an image carved into the stonework above the front doors. It shows a boar and a bear back to back, and they're both rearing up to attack, which is the Gareth house has boars and bears as their...
no plaque on this one like the manor had a plaque?
Not yet. Beneath it is written 9 Company HQ, which makes no sense. And a large wooden sign to the right of the path reads Town Hall. Below that is a bulletin board. So it says Town Hall. There's a bulletin board. And posted on the bulletin board is a reminder of Town Hall meetings are the last Wednesday of every month. And the next month's meeting is to deal with the Toriel Menace. So it's getting about that season.
We know what a Toriel is.
So within a couple of days, they're going to have the meeting to, okay, what are we going to do? It's about that time.
But that's our job. That's the warden's job to go kill that kind of shit.
Going to that meeting, not necessarily.
No, I mean, that would be, they're going to just in that meeting decide to send the wardens to go kill these things, probably.
Yeah, or, if they get in or whatever. And underneath there's a thing that says they're raising the bounty on them. So apparently there's an open bounty for these things also as a warden, would they tell us that we're allowed to collect bounties, or is it just part of our job that that would be a question for
there wasn't part of our training?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just cursory glancing as we walk by because we're heading towards
so you've now stopped, you've looked at it, no one pays any attention, whatever.
So we're hopefully going to what we think is the general store.
Yes. Okay, and now you see some of the people, two of the
other recruits
you came with, they've got handsfuls of stuff.
So I'm just going to glance at what they got there. Is it all the same?
Yeah, they're not all carrying it uniformly, but like one guy's got, you can see there's a blanket, a raptor and a thing, and another guy's got a sack or something.
I guess a backpack's not part of the shit. Yeah, we're heading towards it.
Okay.
I know you're going to talk to him at all. I'm just walking by.
No, I want to talk to you.
Talking to me?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm going to explain that I got a couple of extra chits here. Because I guess we're going to stick together.
Won't they notice if you take stuff?
Well, what I'm thinking is we take a little bit of stuff and then give them the rest, and then maybe every week we help them out. Just get a little percentage. So we don't need to cost too much. We're too new to cost too much trouble. But a little extra is okay. I mean, the only thing I hate more than the rich are the
stupid.
Yeah, people who won't help themselves.
I just give him a nod.
Okay.
I know people like him on the streets.
So, anyways, there's going to be too much stuff for me to carry, so we'll have to share it. But we can't just. I'm afraid if we just take it from them, it'll just cause problems. Well, so I think maybe a small percentage we can have as a fee.
Yeah, they'd notice for sure.
Right, and also then they would tell them, what am I supposed to do with it? I mean, you're the big man. You could probably intimidate them if you wanted to, but that's your business.
It's best not to cut trouble.
I think so. I think we take the choice cuts of meat and let the peasants have the scraps.
And that's the other. You should have bought backpacks.
Well, maybe we can, or get backpacks and buy them. We can get them probably somehow.
Yeah, go to the general store.
Okay, and it is clearly the general store. The typical appearance of the building with its wide porch displaying barrels of dry goods, and even without the Sam's Sundries sign posted above by the road in bold paint, you would know that this is the general store. And below that hangs a sign showing a loaf of bread. So this is Sam's Sundries. There's a little sign that has a loaf of bread, and it has a big B in the across the bread. Some brand of some sort, you don't know. And,
good old bee bread.
Yeah, and there's a wide porch out front with some chairs and some stuff.
We go into the general store.
You're going into the general store. Sam's General Store, and just inside the general store is a man in an apron. He's taking great care to place the final bag of flour on a pyramid-like display. He nods to himself, pleased by the results. He notices you and spins to face you. Hi, my name is Sam. What can I do for you, fine gentlemen, this morning?
I'll pull out my chit.
Yeah, I'll pull out my chits.
Okay.
I was, you could package all this up for me. I'm just doing a favor for some of them aren't quite able. They were sick from the ride. Couldn't quite come down to get their stuff, so I thought I'd help them out.
Okay, that's not the first time that's happened. When given the supply chits provided by the captain, he takes a moment, collects the chits. He says, do you mind just waiting around? It'll take me a while, as there's quite a bit of supplies here. There's some seats out on the porch if you want to relax, or if there's a counter doors and then all the real stuff. But he goes, if you want to look around, there's some samples of some stuff you may need. And then
I'm gonna say I'd like a backpack too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll come back and we'll sort that out too. Your money's as good as anyone else's, I suppose. So now you can look around, you can see what samples are there, but really,
there's nothing here worth looking at.
Nothing for you in particular. It's a lot of clothes items and stuff that travelers might need along the way. Stuff. Most of the dried goods and stuff he has in the back. The stuff that the townsfolk would need. The stuff that.
Do they have any like backpacks or bags or anything in the front?
In the front, no.
Okay.
Anything worth stealing?
Might as well it's worth.
Yeah, there are items that are there that could be stolen, but like I said, it's more of like a, hey, we've got this. Other than the flour, that there's that big. If you want to steal a sack of flour, you don't know why, but this.
I'm just doing all the calculations in my head. Is it worth it for me to steal something and then give it to one of the other guys so they get in trouble? And I'm really like, what is that really getting me?
Other than
besides just doing it, like I don't want to just be a jerk off. So I want to have a purpose to it.
So I'll just stand there waiting for Sam to come back.
Well, I might as well go. I'm going to go sit down. I'm not going to just stand there, enjoy maybe we can just have a look around, talk to people as they come in.
Once he leaves, I'll follow him out, I guess.
Okay.
There's some chairs there. He's going to get all our stuff together.
Yeah, I'll sit down then.
I mean, we got a lot of stuff. Hopefully he packs it properly. I mean, I wouldn't be able to take it without a knapsack, I imagine. So hopefully he'll just stuff it in there since we've given him so much stuff.
Well, the other people didn't seem to have any kind of...
I know. I'm not saying I can't. I'm not good enough at talking to get that's what I want. I'm not good enough to achieve what I want.
Just buy it.
So
I don't have any money.
So you're talking to each other on thing, and people are on the street. It's pretty busy. Still, it's not early morning. People have had their breakfast. People who they're supposed to go to work, they're on their way or have been at work. And at this point, if you want to say to do any, maybe we just had a break. If you want to rehash anything, do you want to?
What that we talked about? We just discussed our character backgrounds and sort of. I told him about the chits that I had and our plan.
You told me about that before.
Oh, did we? And what we're going to do with them? Which is we're going to just pilfer a little bit out of each of the.
Yeah,
depending on what
there is, depending on what we want. We don't want to.
He doesn't want to take it all.
We can't take it all because then they're going to tell on us, and then it's day one, and
he was pretty much asking me to stare them down if they.
Yeah, we can't do this. I can't do this alone. So he's the biggest guy there.
So okay. So you don't do anything in particular. You don't.
No, although I'm considering right now, and I want to talk it out in my head, and I don't know whether it's going to work. They said leave those green cloaks all along because everyone knows who we are. I'm wondering if I take mine off and go talk to some of these townspeople, if I get a different reaction than what I've been getting. But I don't know what to ask them. I'm going to try it.
So you're going to
take my green cloak off?
Okay. Can I just see your character sheet for 1 second then? You've wandered out, you've taken your green
Well, I'm going to give it to him to hold on to.
Okay.
Just FYI.
So you've walked into the masses of people with your cloak off.
And I'm kind of throwing it behind me, so it's like I'm sitting on it almost, so that they can't see that I'm holding an extra cloak.
Okay, that is fine. You have the time.
Just real quick, I'm just going to see how people are going to.
You're walking amongst the masses. It's not shoulder to shoulder, but it's quite busy.
Yeah, I'm going to say. I've just wandered in from out of town. Where am I exactly? What town is this?
Okay, there's a couple. Now you know they're called kobolds. They're anthropomorphic dogs. They're pretty common. They're a race of people and
vermin.
And
I've already got jokes.
One's wearing a red cloak, so he's a trainer of some sort. And they catch your eye, and you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, hey, what?" You approach them, and you're asking, "What are you asking of them?"
Yeah, I hitched a ride. Some guy with a cart. He dropped me off here. I'm not sure what town I'm in.
Okay. They're like, "Oh, that's Harper's Cross. That sounds like that is a odd story that you happen to."
Did you get hit in the head?
No, my father threw me out of the house. I didn't know what else to do. The stranger picked me up and said, "I'll take you somewhere safe." Here I am.
Oh, well, okay. They introduce themselves. He goes, "Well, my name's Hank, and this is my brother Bosch. And
Pleasure to meet you, Hank and Bosch.
We're the proprietors of something called the Respectable Road, which is like an adventurers guild in a place called Woodhaven." He gives you a small card and says, "Oh, we're just running a courier mission here. We got
Write that down."
Okay. Is there? You know what? I would love some work. Is there anything I can do for you?
Oh, well,
I'm not a vagrant. I'm not a.
You show up there at our door, and we'll see what we can find for you. You're a young man, and we'll
show up in Woodhaven.
Yeah, it's called the Respectable Rogue. It's right beside the Bucktail Trail Inn.
Perfect.
Bucktail Trail Inn in Woodhaven. Yeah,
We got another name of a city.
Trail Inn. Well, that sounds wonderful. Thank you. Hey, would you know how to get some money or some food around here?
we can't help you with that, but we've been told.
Oh no, I'm not begging. I'm an honest man, ready to work. But I just wouldn't even. I can't keep. It's not easy for me to continue to approach strangers. I'm glad you met my eye. It made it a lot easier for me. Thank you.
Well, that's a interesting story, interesting delivery on all of this stuff.
You can see right through me. He knows exactly what I am.
We have to go.
Interesting delivery.
We're on a mission right now. We're couriers, so if you could just
Step back.
So again, there's our card, and maybe we'll see you sometime in the future.
Hey, thank you so much.
They disappeared.
Interesting
Yeah,
delivery.
he's right. He knows exactly what I am. I just got out the car. I got a short sword and a whip.
So you hear Sam call. Okay, everyone, I got your stuff. You want to come back in here?
Yeah, and I'll run back.
I'll toss him his cloak.
Throw that back on. Yeah, not too bad. Those dog things. Those dog things. They're on some sort of courier mission. I don't know whether I quite believe them, but if we ever get out of here, they have work for us in Woodhaven.
So,
Yeah, we'll go back in to see Sam.
you go in to see Sam, and the items. So you're gonna have to write these down.
Yep.
So under
Sundry.
sundry.
Hold on 1 second.
Yes, what's under sundry items?
The first is for each chip that you gave, there's a thick wool blanket, a temporary ferry pass so you can travel back and forth.
Is there amount of times, or is it just for time we're here, or what?
You don't know. It says a temporary ferry pass. There's a notebook, 1 week's dried rations, and then there's a small box that it's sundry items. I'm just going to leave it up to your imagination. At some point when you're camping, whatever, there's going to be a tinder box.
Yeah, that's what I was
whatever.
wondering.
So there's just some other stuff that you don't even have to write anything down, but just, hey, do you mind what if we could, or, like a hatchet. Do we have a hatchet? Yes. All the items in it are going to be,
I was going at camping items.
yeah, so something like that. So you can go, did we happen to have flint? Yes.
And then once it for sure, I'll write it down.
No, that doesn't.
It's always this.
It's always there. It's so that there's no bookkeeping or whatever when you go out. So that was that, and he hands the.
I asked him can I get a backpack that'll fit all this?
I do sell backpacks.
Oh. I'm going to show him that later anyways, because I like to work together. You're writing all this down, right?
In
Because
the
I have
biblical
not written
sense?
anything.
I like we're together.
I like being together.
I think you misunderstood our relationship.
I don't think he did.
It's a working relationship.
It's cold at night, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I had my eye on somebody.
He says, that's I just had 3 kids come out of here, handfuls of shit. They didn't even bother to buy a backpack or anything like that.
Yeah. You saw them.
They're going to end up back here anyways, so you might as well get
I just need to, if you don't mind, write down what we got.
No. You get 3 of each.
Okay.
Well,
We'll split it up.
backpack. He says, I have a very...
Does it say wad blanket?
wool.
Oh, well.
I've got a very functional traveler's backpack, 40 geld. It's got room for the bedroll at the top if you have anything like that. And if you want to go anything else, I've got smaller carrier bags, but nothing that's going to fit. I suspect that this is going
I'll
to
take that one.
Okay, 40 geld. Take that off your.
What's the last thing?
Camping items.
Again, it's not going to be, say, a 50-foot rope. like I specified, so at some point you're like, do we have a candle or a flint or something like that? Just so there's no bookkeeping, whatever.
What should I call that back? Just backpack?
Okay.
Just backpack.
So, but what we'd hopefully all would consider reasonable basic camping items.
Yes.
Are you going to get a backpack too?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got 3 stuff here. Is there anything that I can carry this in, sir, or should I be making 3 trips? I'm saying we got 3 stuff here. Is there any chance I could just get a backpack, maybe, and return it to you, if that's okay? I don't know. I mean,
just 1 second. You're doing your kids a favor, your friends a favor, whatever. He comes back. He gives you a big sack, and it has the big B on the front, and it looks like it used to carry those small bags of flour that are out front. They came in this big sack, and he goes, this ought to hold it for you. There you go. And he's kind of it's a big burlap sack that has a big B on the front.
Yeah, it's a big B. That's good enough for now. I can't really get towards them. I don't have the skills to remember.
Do we think we need rope?
For tying the sack up when we stuff these students in there, when we stuff these other words in there? Why would we need rope?
I don't know. It's the thing you take out into the forest. I'm a city boy.
I don't know. Although I grew up in the mountains. Okay, I'm kidding. You already know my shtick.
Let's give him a look. That's right. That's fine.
Well, I mean, what kind of trades do you take here? Do you take trades or just money?
Just money. Just money. I got more than enough suppliers from here and there, unless your dad's a hog farmer from Gareth and get me some fresh pork.
I'm just looking at him like expecting him to say
fresh pork, you say?
Yeah, unless you can pull up a wagon full of pigs out here. They're in short supply. But
pigs are in short supply. Is there anything else that perhaps you'd be interested in the future?
No, that's it.
So if we're out there and we happen to catch a wild boar, bringing it to you you'd be thankful for that.
Yeah, I might just be.
I like how Dave's notes are just says pigs. He'll never know what that means.
Okay.
That's as good as we're going to get from me.
Oh, man. At least you're making notes. I haven't wrote down one thing.
Well, that's going to lead to a lot of damage. So,
okay. All right. Yeah, good. So, we'll...
do you sell armor?
In the general store? No.
Is there an armory?
In town? No.
We may be able to get some armor.
Yeah.
I mean, you think you need some more equipment?
No. And we don't even have a blacksmith in town. That's one of those things that has to come in.
Did we notice at all if the guards or the watch had armor?
The soldiers you saw training with they have armor. The watch, they have basically leather armor, just light.
What do you have?
Padded.
Okay.
Hides just like leather, but not built into armor form. Is that what he's wearing?
Yes, he's basically wearing furs that are made into armor. Just it's one step down below leather.
But he doesn't look like he's from a cave or something. It's like
kinda does, because he does come from a cave.
Do I now?
Okay.
All right.
Cave dweller. Cave dweller. My
mouth breather.
All this time, I've been hanging around the cave dweller.
But the two of you are probably some of the most uncouth people that have come with this shipment, but not the most uncouth. You could tell.
At least we have something. Yeah,
some bad kids have been wrangled into this before. You're not the worst, but certainly of this last batch, people can see, these are they got you sorted out.
Back to the barracks?
Yeah, we'll
shit.
Yeah, we'll step outside. We'll head back to the thing. We'll decide what to divide up here and what to give those other kids.
Okay.
And and then when we're safely back there, I want you to read that. So that's interesting.
I would take not a full week's ration, but just a couple days ration from each one.
Yeah, I would think the same thing.
So you end up getting a week's ration from all three or something.
Oh, so you go outside.
Because he asked us what we're going to do with this extra stuff. We're discussing, as we're walking back towards the barracks, we're discussing
because whatever, if we take anything obvious, we don't need to...
If they missed a day, they probably wouldn't really miss it until the end.
That's what I'm thinking. They'll have to ration out themselves, have to figure it out, right? That's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
And if they want extra food, they can always come to us and pay for it. Okay.
We're bad kids. Don't look down.
No,
on us.
no,
Not bad, 'cause we lived an interesting life, and if you wanted to eat where I came from,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
had to get it.
That's true. Okay.
I'm
And,
pumping all their shit back.
you're talking. You're walking down the street,
Yeah, we're like whispering back and forth.
and as you approach Sewell Manor, you hear shouting, and it's in the distance. It's in the back of the estate, but there's definitely a ruckus going on.
That mean old caretaker's finally getting.
The mayor bursts out through onto the street, and seeing you, he starts waving you vigorously, like you there. We have an emergency back here.
We'll get the watch for you.
No.
We'll go get the watch.
Yeah, he's frustrated. He turns around and he starts heading back into the thing.
Is there any watch nearby?
No.
Like not even an eye shot?
Like, what do you normally do in a city? Like, do you go watch?
So you're gonna look around and see.
The one thing we're not supposed to. The one thing I tried to tell those kids to do is to get involved in stuff that's
It
not
would be
their
stupid
business.
for us to get involved.
I see no reason to get involved. You didn't go, hey, I got a pile of money here. Come here. What? Of course, maybe he does have a pile of money there, and we help him out. He gives us some money. He's the mayor. I mean, we don't know.
We can always plead ignorance.
I've set
Since it's our
I've
first
set
day
the
here.
boundaries
That's what I'm
of
saying.
the area.
Right.
Now I'm letting you. I'm taking.
Well, we're discussing
I'm loosening the leash a little bit.
I mean, here's the thing. He's the mayor. The mayor orders you to do something you're not supposed to do it.
They have no control over us. The only person who controls us is the Lord, Lord of everything.
Well, that's a great.
I'm saying we could plead ignorance. Do what he does. Plead ignorance. Take what we can.
Yeah, ignorance or like
Worst happens, he's dead.
Do you-
We just snake
do you
stuff
see-
into his house.
we do. I'm carrying a sack full of.
That's true. You get a lot of
crap
stuff.
there.
Nah, let's go back to Paris.
Okay, so you just keep
Hold
walking.
on, 1 second. I'm not 100%.
I start heading back to Barracks.
You
It's
start
like,
heading back
we're
to
not
Barracks?
supposed to get involved. If I see a watch, I'll say something's going on at the mayor's house. If we have to walk
Hold
by a
on
watch.
now, easy now. But opportunity strikes sometimes. Sometimes when you gotta hit the forge right at
Okay,
the right
now
time.
some see the watch.
It's gone too long.
I'll start motioning.
They have been summoned,
The mayor was calling for help.
and you and plenty of the passersby.
Well, I'll tell you
some
what,
of them have dispersed, but some of them have started to gather, and the watch have headed into the estate.
It's not our business. Let's go back to Barracks.
You're right. Hey, do you mind carrying this sack? And I'll just go check it out.
Okay,
real
I'll grab the
quick.
sack and start heading back to
Because
Barracks.
it can
Okay.
work out for both of us. If anyone's, I'm with you. I'm just gonna
I
follow
just
the
ended
watch
up with 4 rations now, right?
Four rations. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm putting a lot of faith into you. The biggest guy here. Here, hold on my stuff. The guy.
Hold my mirror.
Okay,
I
so
can trust you. You didn't talk to anyone for 2 weeks.
what you see as you go in there, there's a large number of small bird-like creatures. They've got long necks. Their bellies are distended, and they're moving around the grounds. The groundskeeper that you met earlier and some of the kitchen staff are now chasing them away from the trees.
Okay.
That these things have you don't know how they got in. Presumably they can fly because they got in through the walls, but right now they're barely hopping. But they've got these big bellies, and they've got peach juice all over their faces.
Terrible.
It is terrible.
Damn, I wish I.
And so everyone is shooing these birds away?
Yeah, they're trying to
And
get
no
them.
one's watching
How big
the
are the
front door?
birds?
These are small.
Okay.
And no one's watching that front door?
No.
I thought I heard yelling inside. I was going to take a quick, I just want to take a quick peek. I just want to see, I'm going to open the front door now.
Okay. Do you
Well, it was already open, was
Oh, was it?
it? He ran back in, didn't he? Did he run back in the front door?
He ran around the back. He
Oh,
ran
okay,
in
I
the
thought he
gate,
went-
not
I
the
thought he
door.
went-
He went, and that's the birds are coming from around back, and so are the kitchen staff, and they're all coming from around the
You
back.
should see what his poor peaches are going to get eaten. That's terrible.
So you're running into the front door. So you
Well, running is such a careless word. You know, like I am fairly nimble, and I'm feeling like this isn't my first time and kind of like, so I'm not like, you know, my head isn't down running in there. I'm opportunely sliding in there. That's all.
So you move past the bird creatures are heading in your direction. So you kind of sidestep, and you're heading up towards the front of the house.
I'll yell something encouraging so everyone knows I'm helping get rid of the birds.
You get those birds.
Let's get the birds.
You get those
Save
birds.
the mayor's peaches.
Okay, so you're yelling.
Everyone, the birds went that way.
Okay, so they're attacking the birds, and the birds don't seem to be mustering up much of a defense. The flustered kitchen staff, they're armed with utensils and cookware, and they've given chase to the birds, and you make your way and you're at the front door.
All right. So if I feel I can slip in without anyone seeing me, I'm just going to quickly slip in.
Okay. You open the front door. To your left is what looks like a butler. You don't know exactly what that. To your right, you see what looks like it looks like a carriage driver or something. He's got a riding crop or something. They're rushing in.
Yeah. And I'm going to be all like, man, they're out there. I need something to get these birds. The mayor's going crazy. Everything's crazy. Oh my God. We got to get those birds out of here. Okay. You're eating all the peaches. The mayor's pissed.
So you're making this huge ruckus. Yeah.
The mayor's pissed.
And, the butler says, well, you'd better use your sword and your whip to.
He's observant.
To do with that, and he's telling the carriage driver. Yeah. He's just finished telling the carriage driver something, and it's not about the birds that you can tell because he's referring to something else. But they're pretty hush hush, and then he scoots him, and then he closes the door pretty hastily.
Oh, on me?
Yes. And the carriage driver is not heading particularly towards these small birds that have caused this big commotion. Now there's a lot of, Rob, you can see there's plenty of people at the gate. You're watching this. You've watched him go to the front door. There's been some sort of verbal back and forth. You and probably 50 or 60 other people now at this point have now seen him go to the front door, some sort of thing, door's closed, and the small birds are slowly being dispatched by the
Are any coming out towards the road?
They were heading. The peaches go around the house, and they've come from around the back. And there's more peach trees, and they're heading.
Oh, they're not running from the people. They're going for the peaches.
A little from. They're not bright animals.
None came towards me though.
No, they're not heading out of the walls. Okay. Self-preservation hasn't outweighed their hunger yet. It looks like they can eat a copious amount.
Yeah, they're just eaters. Locusts, bird locusts. Yep, I'll just grab. I'm holding my backpack in his sack, and I'm just going to start walking towards the bears.
Well, I'm going to get his attention this bit.
You're going to wave at me?
Well, I want to get your attention a little bit.
Okay, I'll stop and see what he's doing.
Okay, and
if I saw him, yeah.
A bunch of people on the street are watching you wave, and some of the other people are just like, "What's going on here?" And the groundskeeper looks at you, and gives a like, "Oh, you."
I mean, what? I'm waving at my friend to come help us. What's the groundskeeper?
The one that had,
the groundskeeper.
He had noticed you go up to the door. Now that the hazard has been,
I'm here to help.
Are you saying that?
What?
Because the groundskeeper's looking at you.
I'm here to help, and I'm going to run. I'm going to run as if I'm going to go after some big chickens, but I'm going to watch the carriage driver.
Okay,
because he's going to, and as soon as this groundskeeper guy's not watching me anymore, I'm going to give the old.
Can I tell what he means?
Anyway, you want a peach?
He's giving what he thinks is. He's pretty sure he's giving you, like, hey, nothing was established in your training. So in his mind, he's giving you something that he thinks is instructions. And really, you don't know what those could possibly be. And even when you're like, okay, what if you take the time, you don't know what they are. And even when you're trying to mull it over, you're like, he looks like a crazy person. He looks like a crazy person.
I'll just shake my head and then head back towards the barracks like I was planning to do anyways.
Okay. So you start to leave.
I'm going to keep an eye on the carriage guy.
So the carriage driver is heading back and around towards the back of the...
Is he going the same way as the people chasing the birds, or is he going the opposite way?
The birds are heading closer to the road. He's heading towards the back of the house. And so so he's heading under the peach trees. You're heading under the peach trees.
Mm-hmm.
And just as that happens, landing heavily on the lawn, poof, just barely smaller than a man with its wings outstretched and shrieking, is a adult version of... Apparently they can fly, but for whatever reason the smaller ones weren't. And it is pissed. It's shrieking at you and this carriage driver. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is too far away. And another one lands. There's two tutorials. One lands on the ground. One lands in the tree, in the peach trees. And it's just... It's got like a vulture head, turtley vulture head, big bulbous eyes, and it's and now you can hear the mayor. He's losing his mind. He sees this and he's like, "Whoa, wow! What? Thank God you're here! What, boy? Whip that bird! Whip that bird!
Whip that bird.
The Irishman. What's the carriage driver doing?
Is this behind the building?
He's terrified. No, it's still near the front. Still in
Did I see these giant birds land?
You can see in the peach trees, like I said, the wall, you can see the trees above. You can see it's up in the top branches. There's a ruckus. People are fleeing now. All the passersby that were looking, most of them are. Some are still bringing.
Do I see any of our people from our group?
No.
They're not around?
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna shake my hand and start walking towards where that stuff is.
Okay, so
hurriedly carrying the stupid sack still.
You're humping it back towards the
We're going to meet each other.
Well, because I saw him go that way, and now there's two giant birds landing. I'm like, he can't handle that.
No, I can't. This ain't my wheelhouse, man. I thought somebody did CPR or something.
Okay, so you're heading back into the compound. You now see there's a bird that's landed, and it's looking at you like it's seeing dead whelps all over the place. It's little hatchlings, and now it's looking at you and a carriage driver, who the carriage driver now notices you were following him, and he is looking at you. He's terrified. You're terrified. The bird's pissed, and its head's moving around. It doesn't know which way to go. So what are you doing?
I am maneuvering myself in such a manner as in backing up so that the carriage driver looks much more appetizing than I do.
You have all the room in the world behind you. Mm-hmm. The kitchen staff is now shrieking, and they're starting to scatter. The only one coming sort of close is the mayor, and he's yelling encouragement because he's certain that you're going to be able to...
Mayor, let's get him. Go ahead. So everyone else, let's go. Let's get everyone go.
I get it.
I'm basically walking backwards and waving my arms forward.
Okay, and everyone else is scattered. No one other than the mayor who thinks you're going to leap to action is
I'm going to leap, all right.
Okay,
I'm going to leap to action, actually.
So now you've turned the corner, Rob, and you see...
So there's a wall here?
There's a wall that surrounds the whole thing. You've gone back in.
I'm going to put the bags down. I just didn't want to leave them in the street.
Okay.
And then start charging the one that's on the ground.
So you're backing up, and now
he goes past me, forward.
You look to your side, and he's running forward.
Okay, well I'm gonna stop backing up. I'm gonna give him support in the back.
Go for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
So the mayor's yelling encouragement to you as you yell encouragement to.
Well, what I'm thinking is, and I've been thinking get some peaches and throw them towards the bird. Maybe he'll start eating the mayor's stupid animals. I'll give that a shot.
Okay, so now we're in an action phase. It's your turn. You've closed. Rob's closed the distance. Gray has closed the distance between the bird on the ground. It sees you. You see it. And
we lock eyes.
You lock eyes.
We know what's about to go down.
You're both pretty well.
Short sword drawn.
Okay.
Battle cry on the lips.
So do your worst.
Okay, I'm gonna do a good old 300 at him and double hand. Try to crack him right in the skull.
Okay, and you have no problem hitting him. And yes, there's a shriek. There's blood. They feel solid. It's beneath your sword, but certainly you've done some damage. The mayor who goes before you is still yelling encouragement. Oh, you boys are doing a great job. You saved my peaches. The carriage driver. Oh no, you go first before him.
Oh, of course I do.
You can delay.
You could just say, "Hey, I'm not doing anything."
Oh, we're keeping an eye on him.
Yeah. Right now, I'm gonna pause my turn, I guess.
Okay, so you're just standing there,
evaluating the situation. I'm not sure whether to go to the bags of stuff, because if they get stolen, I'll be real pissed. Also,
that's why I put them inside the wall.
Smart. I'm thinking of putting them inside each other so we can say one got stolen. Payment for.
Okay, so you stand thinking. The carriage driver is now backing away. The bird up in the tree is freaking him out. This guy is not a combatant, and he's not happy with the situation. He was going to maybe use that carriage, the carriage whip, to deal with the small ones. He's got plenty of skin in the game, but he doesn't have the muscle to back it up. So he's turned and run.
Oh, he's ran the other way?
Yeah. With the kitchen staff has run that way. The groundskeeper has run that way. These things, the reaction of how they were reacting to the small ones as opposed to the big ones, two diametrically opposed things.
Small ones are chickens, the big ones are vultures.
My turn? Or did I pass my turn?
I think instead of deferring, you actually sat and thought. You were milling some stuff over.
That's fine. That's fine. If milling stuff over is a turn, or is that?
Yeah. So, Rob, what are you doing?
Still hacking away at this damn bird.
Okay, it is yet to attack you.
I don't care.
Okay, so another big hack, and
it's got a long neck, you said?
Yeah.
I'm trying to hack its head off. That's
okay, that's a cold shot.
Like, I'm literally hacking at that neck, trying to take its head from its body.
Okay, you're going to have to roll the dice on this one.
I'm good at rolling high. I'm not sure about this. Oh! I rolled a 12 on the red one.
Okay, so you have failed miserably.
Yeah.
And
told you I'm good at rolling high.
You hit it, but it just pirouettes out of the way. It's not even a contest. It just...
I charged in here thinking I'm saving him. Do I notice that he's still gone?
I stopped.
Oh.
So the mayor is like, give him hell. Yeah. And then he stops and you could feel his eyes like boring into your back. You stand there paralyzed and he's like, I said, go boy, go.
Should I run like hell like your carriage driver here? You pay these men, don't you?
So, okay, well...
He's having a discussion.
You know what's hilarious? This is the opposite of the game we played before, where I'm now just trying to do other stuff and you're kind of live or die.
So the carriage driver, he's scattered. You've now said, hey, you're paying these people. You're
telling us to do it.
Talking smack. And now the bird that was near you is going to attack you. He fails.
Each one of them failed?
Yeah. Apparently, he comes in with a bite, and then
knock it away.
You're like, oh, well, hey, what? The one in the tree starts flying down.
Goddamn, two birds.
Lands behind you. Now you're situationally. There's the bird behind you and in front of you. You can hear it shriek, and peach juice spraying over your shoulder. He's that close. The sound is terrifying, but it just presents a big animal.
This is my turn again?
Now it's your turn.
I'm going to try to, since they're both on either side, I'm going to try to turn sideways so I can see them both. But I'm still going to attack the one I'm going to turn so that on my attacking hand is the one that I was already attacking once. But keep in mind that one so he's no longer behind me. He doesn't have me flanked.
Okay, well, you can move out of the way. You can...
Yeah, I'm kind of like turning sideways so I'm beside the one I was attacking and facing the other one and still attacking the one beside me.
Okay, I'll allow that small... just a reposition.
Yeah, just a turn. Yeah.
Okay, and you're going to have to...
Roll again because it's a culture. Goddamn, roll a 1 this time. I rolled a 1.
Okay.
You're calling my shots.
You called the shot.
Hey,
and
the first one you said it would be high. It was.
Across the neck, you've... and the head... You've lopped the head off. It's now you could there's calling shots, which means you can hit places, which gives you a bonus, but it's harder to do. Then there's a killing shot you can call if you're to say I'm going to try and like kill it outright. Usually it's against a opponent whose back is to you or sleeping or whatever. But you and its head flies off, lands on the ground.
I'm gonna can I taunt?
I'll allow a taunt.
I'm gonna be like, you're next to the other one.
Okay, so now the carriage driver is out of sight. The mayor first.
The mayor and him are arguing.
Now the mayor's, are you going to get in there or not? What? Now the watch that had showed up have come. What they
were chasing the little ones. Yeah.
Apparently they are done. They've come around the front of the house now with that look on their face, like job well done. So they're like,
I'm covered in bird blood.
Now that your back is peachy and your front is bloody. But they are at a distance. At a full run, this is a big escape. Yeah. At a full run, that even though
they can see what's happening at least.
But they can see you and they're, whoa, what? The bird behind you is going to attack you. And it gets one hit. It takes it's yelling at you, and it takes a talon and rakes it across your thigh. That's so 3
Damage?
3 damage, physical.
Okay.
Now it's Asterius here.
I'm gonna whip the bird.
Okay. You had backed off away. Your short sword wouldn't have been able to, but you.
At least distract him.
Yeah, I'm hoping the big snap is where it is.
You miss in a. Well, you miss. You do not have the skill to hit the moving. This bird. There's a combat going on, and you. Yeah.
Is there any chance the crack of the whip distracts the bird at all?
No. But even if he wasn't engaged in combat, and if it was, so if he wasn't moving around because he was engaged in combat, and your friend wasn't standing right by, which affects it, you know that you just didn't have it in you to even there's too much going on. You wouldn't accurately be able to. So
at least you look like, to the mayor, though. At least you look like you did something.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now I have a better idea of how I can approach combat.
So then the mayor, you've now attacked. It's your turn.
Yeah, the thing pissed me off when it attacked me, so I'm just gonna start hacking at it. Not cold shot, just
Okay.
just go crazy on him.
Do I have to roll?
No.
Yeah, I just
No.
attacked.
Your combat skill is high enough, so many degrees high enough that just a regular attack doesn't do the same critical damage.
Yeah.
So Rob, he taunts, the whip cracks, then he just.
Well, I taunted, the guy attacked me, and then.
So now you can the watch are starting to run. You can they're oh Jesus, and they've got their swords out, but they're a distance away. The bird that attacked you is going to attack you again, and there's a flurry of activity. Take 3 more damage. It gets a talon in on you. It's trying with the mouth. The mouth seems to be its preferred attack for whatever reason, but your combat's too good. You're ducking that, but it's got a cheap shot talon attack that's getting in there.
it's raking my legs.
It's raking your legs. And then the mayor's like, "Oh, good going, boy. Good going. You're doing a fine job."
All right, I'm gonna. Can I run at the bird and hit him in the back, with my body?
Tackle the
That
bird.
is a good question.
He's gonna tackle the bird.
Well, I've got good agility. I think if I can just get in there and
Yeah, I'm going to address the rules here and see what your options are for.
because clearly whip's gonna do nothing, but I do want to look like I'm doing something.
Yeah, it's fine. If you can hold him down, maybe I could just shot
Or anything. He's
Okay. Well, you have the option of doing an attack, and you are behind, and you've claimed you're going to be doing a tackle, so you're not too worried about whipping your friend in the face.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to allow it. You've run up behind the
I'm
thing.
hoping that my nimbleness, I don't know how it relates in combat, will help me.
And is that your go-to skill?
That is my go-to skill in combat, at least.
That is why this is working. You are using your strong suits. You've run up here. You're not whipping. You're not.
Right.
It's not combat. So, and you see it. He runs right up behind it, and boom! Just a full body, just his body weight against this bird, and it's half the size of a man. So you're able to. You put a lot of oomph into it. So the two of you go down like just a sack of bricks, and the thing's head shoots up, and its wings are flapping. It did not see it coming at all.
Good.
So it's your turn.
I'm going to say, to hold him down, I'm going to try to critically, do the death thing across his face.
Okay, you're still going to have to roll.
Yeah.
My face is around
I'm going to roll 4 this time.
A 1 again. 1 and a 12, though. What's that mean?
I rolled good on the one, died terrible on the other. I hit Dave.
You're holding the bird, and across. So
he's going to lose a hand, Jamie Lannister style.
I'm not ruling that out right now.
I've become Jamie. Well, I've got luck. Maybe I can.
Yeah, luckily not lose the hand.
So I'm just going to look at the full.
Your father's
I
not
can't
here.
believe I rolled a 1 and 12.
You can't always go run into your father, Lannister.
So
And then that music plays, and
the old short sword. So you take 4 damage.
Is that over? Are you down to half yet? Or not? Is it half the first one? Yeah.
nope, I take 4 damage. Do I put that as my max, or
No,
do I,
just right below it.
Yeah, your max will always stay until that changes.
Right below it.
8? So I'm at 8 now. Okay, I'm not quite at half.
And it was a critical. So you
Critical
successfully
it on his wrist.
you critted the bird,
I swung right through the bird and hit
but
him.
you critted him, which is double damage. So now you've taken another your fingers. First, you look down and you go, "Ow!" Your fingers are hanging.
Okay. Wow.
So because
Stupid goddamn birds. Almost
That's
killed us.
perfect. That's exactly what your
you
character
did a cold kill shot into 2 people wrestling, and there's no way that this didn't result in you're like 3 of your fingers are hanging. They're hanging by skin.
Okay.
Blood shoots up. You've severed the bird almost like where the breastbone kind of meets
I
the
hit
neck.
lower than I expected.
Yeah, so it's not the neck, but it's and blood, and it's shrieking, and it's feeding,
He's shrieking.
and he's screaming, and
Goddamn birds.
so then the mayor's like, this is happening too fast for him to see exactly what happened, but he's like, "Oh, give them hell, boys! Give them hell!" They get. So he still
I could literally give him the finger.
he still thinks combat's in
Yeah.
happening, and now the watch still too far away. More watch are coming in from the gates, plus the original ones that must have been stationed probably in the street to make sure. Now from the garrison, you can hear a lot of feet, armored feet, and they're pushing through. You can hear like people taking, but they're still a ways away. Now it's your turn.
Well, am I able to do anything? Or am I just in shock because I'm missing 3
At least
fingers
hold
now?
them together.
That's role playing. You can decide how your character's going to react to being injured.
Okay, am I still under the bird? Or
You're on top of the bird.
I'm on top of the bird?
That was the issue. If you're under him, I wouldn't have hit you probably.
All right, well, I'm on top of the bird. I'm gonna reach into the bird and pull out some of his guts because I want to start this stupid. Did you say he was exposed? That's kind
Yeah.
of
I did chop off his head.
Okay, so you get in there and
It's like a weird, yeah.
and it
His
is
hand's falling off.
I think the bird's still alive, right? As far
No,
as
it's
I know.
dead. Well, it's flapping around.
it's flapping around. There
Oh, I thought it was like still alive.
I chopped his head off.
There's a mechanic called Death's Doorstep, and things that are reach 0 hit points like it has till the beginning of the next turn. So say someone came up with healing potion, or so it is still technically alive.
Until he ripped out his heart.
He's gone in and he's finished it off. Someone at Death's Doorstep can be finished off very easily. You're not a combatant by any stretch of imagination.
No.
You just cram your hand into it.
I thought it was still alive and I didn't want it to hurt.
No, it is, like you said, it is
Well, you don't know.
technically. It was
Right.
flapping around and stuff, so you would think it's still
Some
alive.
things can regenerate. Some things Death's Doorstep means that it just goes. So you reach in there, pull its guts out, and it his legs just limp. You can feel the whole thing, and then so that's the end of the combat. What are you doing?
I'm wiping my sword off on his fur and then resheathing it. Just
Okay.
shaking my head and saying, "Goddamn birds!"
So we're to the narrative. The Watcher showing up. You are doing what? You're
I'm pointing out the medic, healer. I'm dying here. Oh my god!
so you're just laying on this bird.
I'm trying to maybe
Okay.
point out, hey, I need some help here. I don't know what sort of healing we have in this world. Hopefully, some kind of good healing. Hopefully,
You see, that's the thing. Back home, there's medicine.
And get sew it back together and hope it healed and that didn't get
Here, you don't know what there used to be healers that would be able to, oh, sure, whatever.
I'm starting to limp back over to our bags.
Okay, so the mayor comes up and he pats you as you're heading that way. He's like, "Oh, good job, boy, good job." And he says, "Yo, friend, all right. Oh my God, what a bird ate his fingers off."
Yeah, the bird.
Okay, so the watch come and they're like, "Oh, okay, you are still laying there. The mayor comes up to you and looks, and he kneels down beside you, far enough away that his white suit isn't in the gore, because there's quite a bit of
He
gore.
rip out his heart.
There's the initial combat gore, plus the guts gore that came up, plus your finger gore. And
I sure hope your peaches are okay.
and he kneels down beside you, and he goes, "Now you were very impressive there, and I know you might take a little heat. You're gonna take a little heat from your superiors for doing what you shouldn't have done. But you made a powerful friend today. You made a very powerful friend today, and I like to know that I can count on some people to break the rules on occasion." And he says that in that tone, under his breath, just like he did. Then he stands up and he goes, "Well, now we better make sure there's none more around." He starts barking orders at the watch, which he's allowed to do, and his stuff. And he's ignoring you. He's as if you're inconsequential.
I'm grabbing her bags.
It's not too much trouble. Could anyone point me to the nearest,
Okay, the members of
hospital
the
or
watch
nurse?
come up.
Does anyone help me out? Like, do I just hold this? I got bird blood on one hand. Do I just hold my fingers together with bird blood dripping into it? I don't really know the protocol for this.
Okay, so the watches has showed up. They're okay. Some of them are tending to your hands.
Thank you. Put them together or take them off, but something's got to happen.
They are putting them. They are putting them together. They're bandaging them.
Put them together and take them off. Man,
See, that's a laugh usually reserved for when an NPC is killed.
that's two.
But that is nice to see a Rob laugh like that.
Put them together and take them off.
I think this is maybe the second time I've seen you have any kind of feelings in about a year. So that's
that
a
was
record. You're softening in your old age, showing emotions.
Oh man, that was funny.
Okay, so you both. You go back to the sack. The sack is still sitting there.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the sacks and heading right back to the barracks. I'm ignoring everybody. I'm just limping away and shaking my head.
So you are being taken along by the watch from behind, and the watch people they're checking the perimeter now. That looks like a mating pair of adults with their hatchlings. Looks like for some reason the season's a little off, like maybe a little early in the season now, and no one knows why would that be. Who knows? Was unexpected. So you make it back to the garrison. You make it back first. You
am I bleeding out or am I just, it's not bleeding?
No.
Okay, I'm just limping along.
Until you reach, say, the half point, or
You're fine.
You don't have to worry about how much. You don't have to tell me when you do, when you get to that. But
I'm going to go up to the guy that directed us where to go, all bloodied and covered in peach and in bird blood and my own blood.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say, where's my bunk?
Okay, he's like, oh, I don't know, but the captain, as soon as you go in the front doors, the captain is usually right there. You have to report to her anyway, so.
Yep, I'll carrying all these sacks and bags. I'm going to walk in.
Okay. And the watch, you go through the same, you're both heading the front door. You're there first. The captain, you have to wait a little bit of time, but, there's multiple doorways and offices in the front that you can go to, and the captain's is one of the front ones. And she sees you and she approaches you, and she says, "Well, you're the first one back, Gray. I just
blood is dripping on my face."
And she says, "You're going to have to let me know why this."
I'm just gonna birds attacked.
A bird attack.
Yeah. Big ones.
We heard the ruckus. You weren't involved. You were attacked, but you didn't.
Well, I'm gonna say Asterius was attacked. I went to defend.
Okay. That is good. You're looking out for your brothers. I like the way the two of you shaping up. Mateus saw the same thing. You two might be partnered up, but right now I just need to confirm. You talked to the captain. You talked to the constable.
Before this all happened.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. I need to see your equipment.
I'll take off the one backpack and don't show mine.
Okay, it's just a backpack. You don't know how many people show up without thinking. Did you grab a water skin?
No.
Okay, well, no. Yeah, now she's marking stuff off.
It was like a test.
You're just marking stuff off now. And she's like, okay, yeah, I like the... and then she says, well, that's the first day's tasks. You talked to Mateus. I already told you I talked to him. So you're going to rest up. Tomorrow is the first day of your service here in Harper's Crossing. So she says your quarters have been assigned. She tells you where they are, and she tells you where they are. So, and as she finishes up here, you hear her under her breath go, "Why does it have to be my guys?"
Might have to be birds. I'll send her.
Okay, and you are being escorted in. Your hands are roughly bandaged up, and she's like, "Okay, well, get over here. How bad is it?" and literally, she takes it, and she's seen enough combat that she knows that this is stuff. So she's not waiting around. She doesn't care about what. She goes, "I'll deal with you later." They move you into the infirmary area. So you see him be escorted out. You can tell he's being well cared for. There's no reason. There's nothing shady about the situation.
Oh, I didn't care anyway, so I'm going to my bunk.
I give you like this voice thumbs up into the thumb just falls to the side.
Okay. So that is the end of the adventure. The two tutorials. You are being you end being medicated with the best medical facilities that this area has. Obviously, they're not going to send you to some sawbones and cut your hand off. Go, okay, you're done. So that's it. Now you don't get you were not checked for any extras, no nothing, whatever. So there's going to be some deficiencies on the roster. You might have to answer for some questions later on. But you're right. There was a test. You were sent to get the bare minimum, but you could have gotten more. Your training should have told you that. You know that a bunch of the kids showed up. Some of them didn't have their stuff. They were reprimanded.
Well, I literally have some of their stuff.
That's what they said, and she's like, "That's not what I told you. That's not what I told you." So now you've kind of gone up, but no one ever tells you. No, you don't get in trouble for whatever. Is it because they gave him the chits and they didn't check you? Most likely, but priority was basically getting his fingers sewed on. So as far as you know, now these people aren't stupid, but as far as you know, you've gotten away with your little scam. You've got a whole bunch of extra stuff. Now,
just throw it under my bunk.
So, we're starting here with role playing for the adventure. There's two options: good or exceptional. I think both of you were getting into your character, but I'm going to award some points for role playing, and I think that was good. So you're both going to get 3 progress points there.
I'm going to write down.
You met Mateus, that's 1 more point. You met the constable, that's 1 more point. You got your supplies, that's 1 more point. And individuals who killed, so you get 2 because you killed both of them. That's an individual point reward. So
he claims he killed 1.
So write that down.
So I got 8.
So that's the end of the adventure. Start training tomorrow, everyone.
So you reward combat, but not the rogue skills. Terrible.
You didn't use any rogue skills.
I got 3 chits.
I
gave 1 back.
That's role playing.
And that was your role playing. His role playing was that he reluctantly went back, knowing that he's trying to be low key, but he reluctantly went back because he knows that you're a phoebe.
That's true.
And if those 2 birds had decided they were going to rock you, they were going to rock you with their mouth attacks, and it would have been a...
They would have rocked you with their cocks out.
Well, I would have never fought them.
You would have ran.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing the carriage driver into their maws.
Well, I was trying to do that.
He started to do that, but the carriage driver was fast.
That was my initial stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't have, because I'm not, I wouldn't have been able to beat him.
Okay, well, there you go. All the questions answered. First adventure
survived.
Yeah.
Mostly. Except for somebody's fingers.
It's kind of funny.
The only damage you took was from me.
Well, see, I shouldn't have got involved.
He should have just stood back.
I will now say you don't have nearly enough progress points, nor have you met the trainers that you could go and
That's what I wanted to do until
exchange those or do whatever. Obviously, you didn't get to explore the rest of the town, so there's that. But I am going to say, is there something about your character that you didn't like? You got a little bit of wiggle room now.
I know he is.
To if there's a stat or something you want to change right now, it's going to be in role playing. It's going to be you have to explain to me.
I think you should change your etiquette.
Well, okay, does it just
Good.
as a game mechanic? Does it change naturally by me trying to use my talk more, my speakage more?
I'm saying that right now because this is the first adventure. You made a character that was a prototype, but you end up role playing in such a way that maybe that doesn't fit. If that is an instance right now, if you have someone
One-time thing.
might cost you,
There's nothing I'm fine. Other than I got a hole in my leg from the freaking birds. Maybe I have a bird, now I'm anytime I see a bird, I have to attack them.
You're a werebird.
No, I'm the opposite. I'm bird hater. Anti-bird.
Anti-bird?
Bird is the word.
Well, what am I trying to do to people when I'm talking
You're
to them?
fast talking them.
Yeah, but what's fast talk? Is that etiquette?
Yeah, it's etiquette, right?
Yes. So each thing has each aspect. Like there's overlap in all of them. So etiquette's the big one, but there's also
You can use other ways.
knowledge. If you're
Or even like
discussing with someone something in particular,
fitness or something, if you wanted to intimidate them or whatever.
yes. If you have two that are kind of close in regard, then it works. Dave's nimbleness would not be able to help him out.
Or even knowledge, if you could
Yes,
talk them into things and things.
Well, if I could change my character with whatever, I think. Well, again, is it fun to have the most perfect character? No.
No, but you want one that fits what you're trying.
Yeah, you would need a little higher etiquette than what you have.
want.
What you're on uncivilized or something.
Right. I guess what I would do if I could, I would. If it is my choice for whatever, I would probably reduce my agility a little bit, and I wouldn't mind. I think attractiveness feeds into this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a little better attractiveness and a little better etiquette. Well, I don't know what the price for that would be.
And you can explain to me why you think.
It'd be hard to change attractiveness.
In your history, why would this now meeting these people do whatever? If you can give me I can't think of a reasonable explanation, but if you could,
give me a second. I can.
And if not, then I have to start going into Baines because your character isn't set in stone yet. So then I have to start getting into your backstory and going.
Why I could just change.
Can I help him? No.
Why I could just change.
You can have a discussion between the two of you, but his word obviously is going to be law in this.
So this has to be via the character. Why
you came in at this and there's a palatable reason why in your
Pure
history
etiquette,
there's a difference.
You could say that you're getting into your environment with you're finding your niche in this environment. You're uncivilized in a city, but once you're in a situation where you have to talk your way into things, you're better at doing that.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was never, as growing up, my history was I was abused in a wealthy manner. I was never really had the opportunity to interact with people in such a
dance.
I never had the opportunity to really interact with people in such a way that wasn't yes sir or no sir. Now that I'm finding that I can, perhaps I'm better at it than what I thought.
So your first experience now, you're getting a little confidence in dealing with people that aren't whipping you. People have looked at you in the street and said, "Oh, well, he's a warden." So there's a certain, already there's a step up. You're not an urchin. There's already
you're higher class.
Yeah, I'm finding that even though I didn't really use words before, that maybe now that I am speaking to people that I don't hate and aren't going to beat me,
especially when you're succeeding at doing it too. So your confidence is going up.
Yeah, I feel confident. I feel confident about talking. I'm not afraid of strangers like I was forced to be, and then later in life pretended to be of these people that were abusing me, including that's how I'm thinking.
And which skill are you going to give up to move some points around?
Well, if I had to, I would definitely give up some agility. Combat's not going to be my thing if I'm going to be role playing. I think
and losing some fingers or losing at least some feeling in fingers makes sense while his agility went down.
I would definitely be happy to.
You're not picking locks anytime soon. I don't.
Yeah, not picking locks.
I will allow you, given good reason, why you would become more your etiquette. You're breaking out of your shell, considering the circumstances, and because you just lost. Now, we haven't decided you've lost the fingers yet,
Right?
But certainly,
Not
your
working
manual
as good.
dexterity
Yeah.
is not going to be the same. And I think that is the perfect role-playing way to make the change you want to do to get the character that you want. So I'm going to allow it.
Well, there you have it. A fun time was had by all. Join us next time for the continuing adventures.